Thankfully, the breakfast news is here to give waves locally and globally in detail. It was a historic and was welcomed at the land following her decisive win in the Commonwealth election held in Apia, Samoa's capital. 2.7 billion strong Commonwealth, a diverse and influential global organization.
They cheered when the flight landed on Accra's soil bearing the newly elected Commonwealth Secretary-General. The welcome was the traditional way with drumming and cultural displays from various traditional groups. There were dignitaries, traditional leaders, MPP supporters celebrating this milestone achievement not only for Ghana but for the entire African continent. The Jubilee Lounge was a Ghanaian flag acknowledging the historic nature of her victory. Madam Shelley Ayorkor Botchwey's triumph was an overwhelming majority of votes cast by the heads of government during leadership among the Commonwealth nations. Briefly addressing the media guarded, Madam Shelley Ayorkor Botchwey, the newly elected Commonwealth Secretary-General, was grateful.
With other multilateral, I shall harness decision-making, leveraging technology and AI, artificial intelligence, to build gaps and amplified marginalized voices.
President Akufo-Addo congratulated her and urged all Ghanaians, regardless of political affiliation, to support her to benefit.
Difficulties ahead of us enable you to success of honesty. And by the grace of
Ayorkor Botchwey becomes the first African woman to lead the 2.7.
The Ghana instability at Bawku in the Upper East region and its surrounding areas along the Bolgatanga-Wale Tamale Highway. In a statement issued on Sunday, the security agencies stated that joint police and military teams have been deployed across these areas to manage the tense security situation and ensure public safety. The statement said a concentrated security on the major highway from Bolgatanga to Tamale. The deployment of on this route aims not to only maintain security, but also and renewed issues using
these matters. Properties destruction actually go into Bawku Township on a train, in the world to Lebanon and other places. It's usually not permanent. Every now and then, some are withdrawn, some are sent in, and the dynamics keeps changing. Yes, they should have foresaw, this incident coming. But we have the 11th mechanized in Bawku. There's a military detachment. I have been there. You have a police station there. And so it will be difficult for anyone to tell me that the security do as a or probably reduce it. Is to go to court and get the court to probably.
The watching brief agencies and political parties have met at a peace forum at Winneba in the Central Region to strategize on ensuring an incident-free election in general to avoid hate speech can hinder development.
They are expected to be mindful of their utterances and actions to maintain the peace that the country currently enjoys. At the second consultative meeting of the AME, the chairperson of the Christian Council, Right Reverend Hate Speech,
not allow our political affiliations to be triggered by our emotions in response to certainty and peaceful order, very peaceful election.
To preach during mission and successful election.
When them about Baumia presidency will facilitate opportunities for all Ghanaians, for the young persons dreaming about the future and receiving the quality education necessary for the fourth industrial revolution. He said the Women's Trade Empowerment Fund he intends to establish will help small and medium market traders with a need capital to grow their businesses.
The Ability Campaign team visited on jobs policies to the people and why the Akan constituency must vote the NPP in this election. He first engaged the chiefs in the Akan constituency and other tools to farm. Later in the evening, the NPP presidential candidate Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and his team met with the young people of the Akan constituency in a Community Connect program. The Community Connect Forum is meant for the youth of the constituency. Dr. Bawumia used the opportunity to talk about his youth-oriented policies and how it will transform lives. Dr. Bawumia assured the youth of the Akan constituency of at least 5,000 jobs under the Digital Skills Program.
We are digital. Memory 1 million youth digital skills. Even if you are a school dropout, when we are school in Poa, now bet me actual, no kaya, you bet me our digital skills. Utsana KJB ha and no computer. Na uye juma ewa America, ewa Canada, ewa UK, ewa Japan, na umutuyaoka.
He urged them to vote number 1 on the ballot for both the presidential and parliamentary elections on December 7th.
The Mahama for Change campaign has got to the Northeast region, where the NDC presidential candidate, Mr. John Mahama, is embarking on a 3-day tour. His mission is to present his vision, policies and actionable plans for the Ghana's future if elected, while seeking the support of the people of the upcoming December election. Mr. Mahama began his tour by paying a courtesy call on the traditional leaders of the Triponi, where he shared the key features of the Resetting Ghana Manifesto, which he emphasizes job creation, accountability, and economic prosperity.
Triponi came alive with excitement as former President and NDC flag bearer Mr. John Mahama arrived to kick off his Northern Region tour. During his visit to the Malba Palace, the chief of Triponi raised a critical concern regarding the dire state of the Triponi-Yendi Road, which has faced years of neglect and has become a significant source of frustration for the community. The chief's spokesperson, Musa Nanyame, highlighted the daily struggles residents endure due to the road's poor condition. The chief called on the NDC to conduct a clean and peaceful campaign expressing confidence in Mr. Mahama's ability to secure victory in the upcoming December 7 elections, citing his past efforts and commitments to the Northern region.
One key relief you dearly commissioned and still pending is the Triponi-Yendi Road, which you awarded before leaving office. It is sad to inform you that the road is still pending after 8 years of your handing over. I am sure you might have experienced it yourself and will be asking what happened. On this occasion of your visit to my palace, I want to reiterate our dire need for the road to be completed to boost economic activities and livelihood among my people and neighboring Yendi. Triponi is in dire need of traditional council. And Your Excellency, it's our prayer that coming 2025, when you ascend the throne, you will help us achieve that mission.
Mr. Mahama, visibly moved by the state of the road, pledged that when elected, he would prioritize repairing and upgrading the Triponi-Yendi Road, promising residents safe and reliable travel.
My father, I passed on the road myself. I've seen the road. It is terrible. I didn't expect that I'll come to Triponi after 8 years and find the road in this condition. We left Tamale at 9 o'clock this morning. And it's taking us 4 hours to get here. This is a journey that should have taken us just a little over 2.5 hours. So I can assure you that since this is my own house, when we come, we'll prioritize the Yendi Triponi Road.
During a mini Deba, Mr. Mahama commended the resilience of locals enduring hardships under the current government and assured them of renewed NDC support.
They are going to bring Ayaluna and they're going to bring money and things to try and buy your vote. Please don't be persuaded. I was watching a video and I saw MPP in the market distributing 1 liter bottle of oil. I don't know how many of you have seen that video. And the point I make is, it is because you've impoverished the people. It's because you've made 870,000 Ghanaians fall below the poverty line. That is why you can go and deceive them with a bottle of oil. Why would they receive a bottle of oil from you with the intent that you are persuading them to vote for you? We must empower the people to be able to make their own money and be able to buy their own oil.
With confidence and encouragement, he urged voters that with their support and God's grace, the NDC would prevail in the December 7 elections.
Foreign Front. On the foreign front, at least 40 Chadian soldiers have been killed after their base was attacked on Sunday evening. President Mahamat Deby has ordered a counter mission to track down the culprits. According to a statement from his office, the attack reportedly happened on the island called Bakaram in a vast marshy region that was once covered by the waters of Lake Chad before its dramatic shrinking in recent decades. No suspects for Sunday's attack are named in the presidency statement, but the area is close to the border zones of Nigeria and Niger, where Islamist militants are known to operate. We will not be able to bring you the weather report for today, but let's bring you the Alpha Lotto for Monday. Now let's have the Alpha Lotto for Monday. The Alpha Lotto winning numbers for Alpha Monday: 78, 52, 88, 44, 47. The Alpha Lotto winning numbers for Alpha Monday again: 78, 78, 50. This is where we end the Breakfast News Live on GTV. For more news updates, you can log on to our website. But for now, you can grab a cup of coffee, sit, relax. The Breakfast News continues after this break.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
A remarkable impact in their community. Someone whose dedication and excellence inspire others. It's time to recognize their efforts. Introducing the most prestigious Royal 2025 Millennium Excellence Awards, celebrating outstanding achievements across various fields. And now, you can nominate those extraordinary individuals or mef.nominate.live. Click on the nominate button, choose a category, and fill in the details of your nominee. It's that simple. Join us in recognizing those who make a difference. Your nomination could change a life and inspire many. Visit mef.nominate.live and nominate your preferred personality or company for the 2025 Millennium Excellence Awards. Nomination is event. Contact 053-540-1903.
Official media partners: GBC News, GTV, Lifestyle TV, Garden City TV, GBCGhanaOnline.com, Unique 95.7 FM, and Daily.
Navrongo Senior High School, Navasco, invites you to its annual general meeting and speech and prize giving day celebration. Theme: discipline, a prerequisite for transformational education and leadership. Dates: 1st to 2nd November 2024. Activities: arrival of Nabia will be 31st October 2024. The annual general meeting is slated for 1st November 2024. The speech and prize giving day celebration will come off on the 2nd November 2024. Venue: McDonald Hall. Time: 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day. Guest speaker for the occasion, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, the Member of Parliament for Tamale South constituency. Special guests of honor from farmlands and forests and towns. We are one family. Oh yes, Nabia, we shine globally. See you there.
Let us again must move on, enjoy Brooklyn. We shall strive as one to ensure.
People say everything is alright. What we say, things could be better. All we need is some understanding. Right now.
Tell a friend and family to test and know their status. Hepatitis is dangerous.
Hello, Mr. Ansah. What brings you in today?
Doctor, I went for a health screening and I was told I am hepatitis C positive. I'm so worried.
Oh, Mr. Ansah, there is nothing to worry about. There is treatment for hepatitis C and treatment is free in Ghana now.
Hey, doctor, are you sure? Does the treatment cure hepatitis C?
Yes, I am very sure. The treatment is very effective. It is taken for just 3 months and is effective 95% of the time.
Wow, that is great news. But can I pass hepatitis C if I hug my children? Or if we eat together?
Not at all. Hepatitis C is not transmitted through food or water or breast milk, or even through casual contact such as hugging, kissing, or sharing food or drinks. Rather, it is spread through blood, like in unsafe circumcision, tribal marking, tattooing, and sharing needles, sometimes from a mother to her baby during delivery. Sexual transmission can occur, but it's uncommon.
Doc, so where can I get this free treatment?
Free treatment is available at all regional and teaching hospitals in Ghana. For further information, you may call or WhatsApp 053-933-5106. Stop hepatitis C. Get tested, get treated, get cured.
Get tested today. Don't hide, don't shy. Get tested today.
Hashtag Stop Galamsey now. Good morning. Welcome to the show. This is GTV Breakfast. Today is the 29th day of October 2024. Today is also World Stroke Day, and that's the focus of our conversation on public interest. My team and I stepped out into town around the licensing office, DVLA 37 roundabout area, and asked people, what do you know about stroke? The kind of things people told me, no be joke. You'll find out 1 hour at 7 o'clock. Headlines today with my guest, Mr. Johnny and Dr. Osai. We're looking at all the stories in the news. Boku still on the top of people's minds and other issues we will be dealing with this morning. So you stick around. Don't go anywhere. My name is Kafui Day. Matiti is also here. Matiti, good morning.
Good morning, Kafui. Looks like we're really inching closer to the election. So if I tell you this morning, what we'll be giving you with regards to our lead up to the elections. I'll be bringing you a breast cancer conversation with Medimosis. You know, they are a proud partner, and October is ending. So we want to find out ways you can prevent breast cancer. Out of 12 months in a year, 1 month is dedicated for screening, for talk about the condition. But throughout the rest of the year, how do you prevent breast cancer? It's a conversation we'll have on Manifesto Watch. However, this morning, we're going to be speaking to Reverend Dr. Walanyo Mensah. He's a running mate of the APC. He's a lecturer and an economist. We want to find out what he means by an all-inclusive government where industrialization thrives. So we'll sit with him about after the headlines and have that conversation. Send us your questions to him on 055 556 1034. We're not alone. Jay is standing by. Jay, what's up?
Thank you so much, Maltiti. Good morning, everyone. And for my side of things, you know, I'll be bringing you a motivational quote from one of the greatest Roman emperors ever, Marcus Aurelius. And then to wrap up this entire breakfast buffet, we'll be spending time with the movie stars. Yes, Nadia Brawi will be in the building. Fred Sapon will be here as well. So look forward to that conversation as well to wrap up this entire breakfast session. Yes, that's what we're having for Breakfast Showbiz today.
Breakfast Showbiz.
Jay has really inspired me with a quote. Let me give you something I read over the weekend from the great karate master Bruce Lee, warning about why it's not good to show off. He says, showing off is the glory of fools.
Oh, wow.
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 I said,
okay.
Don't show off. This is our show, and we are definitely not off. We are on. We've got the quote with Jay coming up, and the breast cancer conversation in about 6-7 minutes, and then stroke conversation at 7 o'clock, headlines at 7:30. You're watching GTV Breakfast. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
And we're back. You're still watching #GTV Breakfast. My name is Jay Gabra, that GTV boy. I want to tell you a little story. Growing up, I loved to read Aesop's fables. There were life lessons in there as well. This helped me as I'm growing up and still helping me. There's a story about the grasshopper and the ants. During the summertime, the grasshopper was singing and dancing the whole time away. And while it was doing that, the ants were packing away food and things they would need during the winter. And when it was time for winter, the grasshopper was now begging the ants for some food. And the ants told him, you used to laugh at us when we told you, you used to laugh at us when you asked, why you dancing? It's like, why don't you join us? And now that it's winter, you want some of our food that we spent time preparing for this period. And so the grasshopper had to starve. And it's something that the grasshopper did, you know, was enjoying whilst he needed to also prepare for the future. And sometimes we take it too far. Now, this morning's quote is from Marcus Aurelius, reminding us that, Charlie, sometimes the solutions we are thinking about, having anxiety about for the future, we shouldn't worry about it. It's all in our head. We have the tools right now. And the same way we are dealing with today, we can deal with tomorrow's problems. So there's no need to worry about it. So the quote goes, never let the future disturb you. You will meet it. You will meet it if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. That's Marcus Aurelius' quote. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. Very inspiring quotes for us this morning. And at this point, I'd like to so that's the quote for today. I hope it inspired you as well. And I'll just hand over to the Breakfast Clinic for Maltiti to take over.
And we're going to keep you company till 10 a.m. on 055-556-10 live there. As we said, breast cancer. And so, as we learn about the effect of breast cancer, it's not well established, help reduce our chances of getting breast cancer. So, our proud sponsors again have joined us this morning from Medimosis Clinic, and a doctor is here this morning. Good morning, Doc. Welcome back to the show, Dr. Say. Good to have you.
Yeah, great to be here.
Let's remind our viewers of, what we've been discussing. I think a week ago,
yes,
we talked about breast cancer.
Yes, so we know that breast cancer is a cancer that affects the breast, and we've talked about it throughout this month of October. We learned about some of the causes, though the cause is not specifically known, but there are certain things that we do that could increase our risks of getting it. And sometimes the radiations from the sun and all those things could affect us. Also, we also learned that we have to always get a breast self-examination. We need to be checking ourselves to see how things are going. Always checking it is the best way to prevent it, because when there is any changes within the breast, you seeing it early will help with the health professionals to be able to keep it in check. And also, we also talked about people not to panic when they see any changes in the breast. So there are certain changes that could just be an infection. There are certain changes that could not, it might not be a cancer. Even the lump, most of them are not cancer. And check it well for you to see what is actually going on. And with the signs and symptoms, we learned about a newly inverted nipple. And it means that something is pulling it inside. And that thing could probably be a cancer. Also changes on the skin of the breast. Mostly the skin of the breast is smooth. But when you have changes in it, such as there is some dimpling around the skin of the breast, it could mean that there is some changes going on. Also breast discharges. So there are certain breast discharges that we talked about. Mostly you should see a discharge when you are breastfeeding. So breastfeeding mostly is the time when you should see a discharge from the breast. But apart from you breastfeeding, if you see any discharge, it could mean something. It's not always that it's cancer, but it could mean some other breast conditions. We learned that when you see a bloody discharge, it's more likely to be a cancer. And also when you see some colorless discharge, it could be some hormonal imbalance and all that. So depending on the discharge that you see, it will help us to know what is going on with you. So to recap, these are some of the things.
I think you also talked about the risk. How do you get breast cancer? Hereditary, food we eat, sedentary lifestyle.
Yes, so age is one of the major things, but we also learned that we don't have to just be stick to the age, because we know that in literature from about 50 years going, that is where most people are at risk of getting it. But then for now, we have people as low as 30 years having breast cancer and all that. So it means that everybody is sort of at risk, but we need to check to see what is going on so that we can deal with it. And also alcohol intake also increases your risk, because there are certain things in it. With the cancer, what it basically means that the cells in the body are just there's some malformations in it and all that. So if you take anything that affects the DNA of the cells, then it means that the cells wouldn't be able to work in a way that we expect it to work, thereby it affecting the surrounding cells.
So it alters the cells.
Yes, it alters the cells, and it affects it, and it starts spreading and all that. When it starts vital organs that we need to survive, that is what makes in cases of breast cancer. And with that, so there is the need to always be in check to know what is going on.
So because of the situation or it's a lump. It's not going to grow big. Nothing's going to happen to it. But then it exacerbates. What
stages of the breast cancer? In the early stages, that is cancerous. But when it's cancerous, the pathology test to see it's established that it could lead to cancer, then it means that we need to prevent it. But when you don't take any medicines to prevent it, the place can become sore. Yes, so that place where the lump is, sometimes it can burst and it can become sore. That is where we see all those images of the breast cancer and all
very
that.
scary.
Yes.
And so now let's talk about...
The best way to prevent it is to be checking. That's the ultimate way. We advise that every month we need to do what we call the breast self-examination. Every month, you pick it up. And the breast self-examination, we've talked about it, but that's the first point. You look at the breast to see any changes, as we mentioned. So when you are touching it, you want to develop from the armpit. So you start from the armpit and you palpate using the not the tip of your fingers, but the pad of the fingers. You use it to palpate it. Areola, that's around the nipple. That one is normal. But if you see any lump apart from that, then it should mean that there's something going on within the breast that you have to know. There's something that we call the BMI, the body mass index. There is a way that you have to be within. So if you check the BMI and it's quite higher than normal, it means that you are obese and you need to cancer. And with that too, you need to be physically active. So you need to exercise. And we learned that regular exercises help. Regular exercise means that about 30 minutes.
Doesn't mean we hear that hypertension and that you have breast cancer and you have these conditions, your case may just be worse?
Yes, those chronic conditions could worsen. For diabetes, for instance, it makes the immune system, it reduces the immune system. So the body's ability to fight some of these conditions become disturbed. And sometimes in vegetables, we'll go more into the fruits, quit smoking, because when you're off the cells, and that is what causes that.
The flavorful, yeah.
You know, all those ones, they contain nicotine and they are not good. The shisha is even more serious because that one you take it on people who smoke and all that. Some people may say, for me, I don't smoke, increase your risk. So avoiding those things, I don't know the reason, but they don't want to breastfeed.
Ghanaian African women?
Yes, you know, of late there are so many
interventions, like the milk products.
Ideally, you need to breastfeed for about 6 months, exclusive. We've been advocating this over and over. It helps the baby, it helps you, the mother. As we learned earlier on, the breast is engorged. You have breast milk in it and you don't want to breastfeed. It could affect, there will be some changes within it which could lead to cancer. Then if you are healthy, if you can...
I think it's accounting for that. Is it lifestyle?
This will be sagging and all those things. But it's a natural aging process. Once you are aging, definitely you wouldn't get, even if you don't breastfeed, it will get to a point that yes, there will be those changes with contraceptives. Yes, because there are some of these hormonal contraceptives that affects the natural hormone, especially the emergency contraceptives. Yes, most of our young ladies now abuse it. It's called emergency contraceptives for a reason. Emergency means that you are doing your own, come to the hospital, you take a history, but ideally within a year you should take not more than 4 of the hormonal contraceptives. Yes, so because there are so much of these hormones that have been put in these medications, so when you these conditions within the breast. And there are some women too who undergo hormonal therapy during menopause. You know, when you are in your menopause, most of the female hormones cease to function, and that is what comes about with these menopausal symptoms and all that. So because some women don't want to go through that, they still take hormonal therapy and all that. When you reach menopause, sometimes it could affect some of the
hormonal.
Most women do that, and sometimes too it can affect those changes in the body.
How about this? I see this vitamin infusions as well. Hormonal therapies they do. People want their skin to glow, their body to be soft and young, no wrinkles.
Yes, those ones are mostly multivitamins. We have the vitamin E's, we have the vitamin K's, and all those ones. Those ones are basically multivitamins, so they are not really hormonal, but I'm talking about the hormonal therapy, symptoms that they go through in menopause and all those things to lower some of those symptoms. Yeah, we'll talk more about the diet. There are so many diets within our settings that could help
Fresh tomatoes.
Fresh tomatoes, yes. We overcook. Getting it in the raw forms help. Pharmaceutical companies trying to extract the tomatoes that we have. And Ghanaian tomatoes are one of the rich ones. Mostly with herbal medicines, the ones in Ghana are the rich ones. So tomatoes is very thin that could help prevent breast cancer. Broccoli, that also reduces your risk.
Yeah, I was going to say, broccoli, this banku and okra, what would you add the broccoli to the okra?
But you can use it in your salads and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, so just some slight heat. You heat it small.
You don't overcook
You
that
don't overcook it, yeah. And broccoli too contains sulforaphane. It's an anti-cancer agent. So it's a naturally occurring anti-cancer agent, be it blood cancer and all those things. Healthy cells there. So you, even when you are not diagnosed with to find if there's any changes within the cell, is it unwanted cells from the body for your body to reduce the bad cells within the body, peeling and all those things. When those cells die off, new healthy ones come. So that is a similar thing that happens within your body. There is something, or when cancer is developing, the time for the cell, the changes from the old one, which is bad, then it starts increasing in those,
I mean, I'm sure somebody will say, hey, doctor, you are being now. Dr. Say is talking about so that you add it to your diet. Say, find a way, broccoli, fresh tomatoes, which you have in your backyard, or you can find in the market.
And carrots, carrots too also helps. It contains beta-carotene and all those things that helps. There was an image that showed about saursop. That's Aligontugui.
Which one is that? Is it sweet apple?
No, the Aligontugui, that's how the guys call it.
Okay, I'm sure we'll have it on the screen.
So that one, that's
this is Aligontugui. Okay.
So this one is also a cancer fighting. It contains certain cancer. This also contains the sulforaphane that I mentioned earlier on. Yeah, so they all helps to reduce things, and it can reduce our risk of getting in October.
No.
We have to. It's a daily fight. Doesn't mean that breast cancer is gone. We need to do a breast self-examination to know what is going on within your system.
Our viewers and clients of Moses will be committing. You can have a resolution where exercise in 30 minutes a day.
30 minutes a day. Just brisk walking.
Brisk walking hours a lot. So park your car, and politicians talk about the ball of Banku being small and more green and leaf. There's always the fight.
Yes.
How am I going to be satisfied?
There was an article I read that day. But then the goal is to add more vegetables to feel full without you feeling like you are starving yourself and all those things. And also, the vegetables contains these dyes can really help in those conditions as well.
Detoxification. A lot of vegetables, lettuce, just add it to, and that's it on your screen. That's Aligontugui. There's the carrots, fresh carrots. It's in the market. It's in your backyard garden. And chop them up, wash them nicely. Add broccoli as well, and then have a nice salad. Maybe add some eggs, boil can make you eat it, because people are so used. This could help you in fighting breast cancer, because as Dr. Say said, it contains lycopene that serves as a chemotherapy kind of process. We've talked about how to help you plan your diet to live a better and healthy is to the end of the month. If you haven't gone to a hospital, for you to go and get checked for weight. Stay with us.
About stroke, I'm at the and if you talk something, the same mind will let you talk something. So when your mind and stroke going, then it means you are coming. It's not small. You have to is coming. But many times when you are sick, you don't get anybody to come and visit you.
Stroke. I've not seen someone that have the stroke. So it's very find it difficult to walk, and he or she will be on the wheelchair.
My whole be behind that. Have on a man. Then Sa was sound to me 90 years.
All this stroke of things and cancer of things, to my own experience, I discovered that it might be from the lineage. At times, it might be from the blood lineage. Because if your family of your grandmother or grandfather don't have that, there is no need of you having it. But stroke, and it's not good. Because at times it happens that it paralyzes either one side of your body or it paralyzes your leg. Probably that leg is unworkable. Escape sickle cell, another disease, because all these things go through blood. So I believe that the only way to prevent the stroke disease of thing is for you to check your marriage blood group. That's the most important thing about it, because all these dirty disease, cancer, all this comes from the blood lineage group.
To the other side, we are not able to talk, but she could not be able to move the hand and the leg and the mouth to shifted, and then she was not able to talk. And through some herbal medicines, she was able to recover now.
The person can't move, he can't do his daily activities work. Probably if he needs to work, you need somebody to hold him before he can work, do something. That's what.
And the person can use either she has stroke around her.
Stroke say yeah, and a man to me sorry, but I was sorry, crying out for you.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to the show. Today is the 29th of October, 2024, World Stroke Day. And we're channeling the emotional power of sport to drive stroke awareness and to motivate all of us to take action every day to reduce our stroke risk. Just gone by was a segment of our show called Public Interest, where we stepped out to town to ask people what they knew about stroke. And some of the things they said, some of the questions we'll be posing to our guests. So on the far right is Erickson Arthur, who is a survivor of stroke. Erickson, good morning. Welcome to the show. We have Alhaji Rahman Gariba, who is the director of SASNet Ghana, which is the Stroke Association Support Network Ghana. And Dr. Frida Moating, to my immediate left, is a physician specialist with an interest in neurology. She works at Kolebu Teaching Hospital. You're all welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm going to start first of all with the doctor, because a couple of things were said on that video. Somebody was connecting stroke to a family history and blood groups. What do you have to say about that?
Okay, so good morning to all the listeners, and I'm happy we are starting with this. When it comes to stroke, there's so much out there. Everybody seems to know so much about stroke. We have our own, people are their own doctors on stroke, so it's good to channel it right. To say that, yes, the bit about family history is very true. So then when you come to the hospital with stroke or with certain risk factors, one of the things we ask when we are taking a history, and a history is gathering patient information, is to find out if you've had a stroke in the family, because certain conditions will predispose you, certain genetic predispositions also makes your likelihood of getting stroke higher. So the family history bit, yes, I would say. Blood group, not so much. There's so much attributed to blood group, and blood group eats this, either. It's true, maybe for nutrition-wise, but for the risk factor of stroke, no. There is no direct linkage. Science has not found that. Science is not supporting that. So for that, it is not one of the risk factors we talk about.
So if your father had a stroke, your brother had a stroke,
you need to be aware. We need to find out why they had a stroke. Is it because they had a traditional risk factors, which is the hypertension, the cholesterol, the diabetes, or and with diabetes, with all those things, we have some components of family history. So when they got a stroke because of that, then you need to be aware. And then also certain genes have been linked to higher risk of getting strokes. So then it may be at play here. But then if they did that because of maybe other things, maybe even some injuries can predispose you to having strokes, then that one, the risk is not so high.
Okay, one trotro driver swore that the more eggs you eat, the higher the risk of stroke that you run. Is that a myth or it's true?
Well, to everything, I would say there is a bit of truth in that because, yeah, protein is egg is largely protein, but the yolk is said to contain a lot of cholesterol, and even though stroke is really linked to the cholesterol we produce, the body produces its own cholesterol because it's needed for body functions. But when you have a lot of dietary cholesterol in addition, your total cholesterol goes higher. So then, yes, for adults, it's said that maybe in a week you eat just about 3 eggs. If without the yolk, you can eat as many eggs because the risk factor is in the yolk.
The
so
yellow
when the yellow bits, the small yellow bits, So that is what contains a higher amount of cholesterol, which will contribute to your total cholesterol, which is one of the risk factors for cardiovascular risk factors. So then we say that, yes, limit the amount of, for adults, limit the number of eggs you take in a week, at most 3, but without the yolk, you can have as
So the yolk you're going to eat,
without the
yolk, the white part?
Yeah, the white part. That's full protein, so you can
Okay.
have as many.
All right, I'll come to Alaji shortly to talk about care, but let me speak with Erickson, who's a survivor of stroke. Erickson, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
What's it like living with stroke?
It's a hell. Living with stroke is almost like living in hell because everything gets messed up in your life. I was an electrical and air conditioning technician before this episode. Now I'm not able to work, neither me alone. I know some of the survivors who are not able to work, and maybe they were the breadwinners of their family, and it has caused a lot of home breakage. I, for instance, I'm lucky that my wife is still with me to date, but others, their wife and their family just desert them and move ahead because they become a burden, and not only to their immediate family, but to the whole society in general.
When did you get your first episode?
I had mine in 2017.
Were there any warning signs?
I never knew I had BP. I never knew I had blood pressure. Neither did I knew that I had diabetic. I'm a diabetic. Though I have diabetic in my family history line. My mother, my grandmother, and my grandfather too had diabetics, but they never had a BP. But my mother even up to date has BP. But I never knew that it would occur to me because I was fit, hardworking, moving up and down always. So it never crossed my mind to even go on a checkup or any thing of that sort. I just lived a normal life, thought I was healthy. Until that fateful night, after I closed from work, planning to go to another work the next morning, I realized that I woke up early at dawn, had my bath, did what I have to do, get prepared. So it's too early, let me wait for about 30 minutes then, get up and go. I just relaxed on the floor, not even on the bed, just lying on the floor. That's the last thing I could remember. When I regained consciousness, I was at Kolebu Stroke Unit, and they said I've been there for over 6 months. I went 6 months. They said I went off. And even in the room, my wife wasn't around at that moment, so I was in the room for a good 3 days before they finally found where I was.
You collapsed?
I collapsed. I never knew what happened. I never fell down. I lied on the floor myself just to relax the body before going to work. And that was all I could remember. When I regained consciousness, I was at Kolebu Stroke Unit, and they said I've been there for over 6 months. I was off, totally off.
Dr. Martin, what happened there?
So, Eric is one of the first patients at the stroke unit. So, what he describes is about right. So, he has a family history he never knew. It brings out an important point to check. It is not enough to say, I'm fit. You can be doing all the right things, but sometimes, through no fault of yours, because you are growing, because you have the family history, because you have some genetic predispositions, you may come down with stroke. So do check your blood pressures as you're growing. Every month, if you check, it's fine. The sugars every 3 months or every 3 to 6 months, you should check. Then, so he went unconscious because stroke is a sudden event.
he didn't get the chance. You don't get a chance to say, okay, I feel numb, which is what a lot of people are afraid of. I feel numb here. Am I getting a stroke? No. What Eric describes is just it's
a sudden episode.
It's a sudden episode. It's called a vascular event. Anything vascular means is with a blood vessel, and when it happens, when there's a blockage, it happens suddenly. If there's a vestige of the vessel, it happens suddenly. So then suddenly he went unconscious.
Where was he for 6 months?
So then I'm sure maybe from the medical, you come through the emergency, the protocol, you come through the emergency, depending on how stable you are, we stabilize you, we get the things rolling, then maybe to either the medical block or the stroke units. And then, yes, typically you don't stay on admission for that long. But if you're not ready for discharge, you're not ready for discharge.
How was he able to be so unconscious for such a long time and wake up and find out that he's been sitting there for 6 months?
So unconsciousness is graded. So we have what we call the Glasgow coma scale. So then for you and I, it's graded, the highest is 15 on 15. So if you're awake, you can respond, you can talk, you can obey commands. We score you using those 3 parameters, and we say you are fully conscious. But then if you are not, if anything below that, you are in a coma. So it's even in the coma, it is graded. So then, yes, you may be awake, but you are not fully conscious. So you may be in that state, anywhere from 3 to 14, you are not in optimum health to go home. So we will say you are in coma, but you may be awake, but you are not fully responsive.
Was that Eric's situation?
Yes, Eric could not, for the motor components, which is moving, the parts of the body affected, talking, and understanding. And talking involves speaking and understanding. So if you don't speak and understand, yes. So here, his talking and then his motor components, which is the moving and obeying commands, because it's the brain that controls that, was not optimum. So then, yes, we graded his Glasgow coma scale as low. So then on that, he was with us on admission. Yeah.
What was your reaction when you found out that you had been lying down there for 6 months? What went through your mind? 6 weeks?
No. Everything, like the whole process. Yeah.
When you became conscious?
I became conscious. I was totally confused, not knowing where I was and not knowing what happened. I said, I remembered just eating my meal, resting, and what happened. I keep asking myself to date, I keep asking myself what actually happened. But they said I had a rupture in one of the vessels in the brain. But luckily for me that I went off. If not so, the fluid, the heart would have beaten more to put more blood into the head, and maybe I could have even died. But thanks be to grace, I'm still alive and sharing this testimony with you.
Amen. And so who's caring for you?
My wife, my mother, and my siblings. Though they are having their own family, but they have to find time for me and to help me up.
They must love you.
I'm very sure of that.
Alhaji?
Yes.
Rahman Gariba, you're the director of Stroke Association Support Network Ghana.
Yes.
What does your association do?
Well, we are an advocacy group. We work mainly with the survivors throughout the country. Yesterday, where some of us went to Pando to actually have a health walk, just to raise the awareness. A couple of years ago, we went to Suyani. We are thin on the ground. It's a voluntary organization, very limited resources, but we try as much as possible, using the likes of what we have here today, to raise the level of awareness. Stroke, similar to heart attacks, have got the same sort of background. High blood pressure, eating a lot of fat, drinking a lot, smoking. Those are the risk factors.
Lifestyle things.
In fact, lifestyle. It's a non-communicable disease. We need to actually raise that awareness. That
what does that mean? When it's non-communicable?
You can't infect somebody else.
With stroke?
No, you can't. So we need to raise that level of, and we are also lobbying. We're lobbying government and the Ministry of Health. We are in partnership with them. 2 years ago, we actually had a big event at the Ministry of Health, funded by the little money that we raise, to equally do the same, raise the awareness. But generally, people should know that when we say non-communicable diseases, that it's about lifestyle. You can change that. 30-minute walk 5 times a week, very, very healthy. The amount of food we eat, people are obese. So like I was saying, the same etiology with a heart attack. This time it's not a heart attack, it's a brain attack. The same sort of rupture of the blood vessels, blockage. So we raise the awareness, we educate people, we want to get people on board to support us with the resources.
Indeed. Dr. Martin, I hear that younger and younger people are getting strokes. Does the evidence prove that in the cases that you are seeing?
Thank you again. Thank you for bringing out all the right questions. So I'm in Kolebu, I'm at the stroke unit and with a neurology department. Every time I'm counseling my patients, and whether OPD, at home, at church, anywhere I get the opportunity, I do tell them that stroke is because of the some risk factors you can't do anything about. You can't change it. By the fact that you are black, you are male, you are growing, you have the family history, you can't change that. But majority of what causes stroke is what we can do something about. That is the modifiable risk factor, the lifestyle change. Now on my ward, we have a 31-year-old with 2 strokes. Stroke is normal, so averagely we are collecting data.
All males, all females? What's
males and females.
Males and females.
Males and females. For females, what we are realizing is post-pregnancy-related hypertension and complications. The body doesn't know this is pregnancy, and then it's only pregnancy-related, so don't get a stroke. No. Even if it's pregnancy-related hypertension, you can't come down with a stroke. So then a lot of the females we are seeing, even though it's also lifestyle, and then knowing they have hypertension or the risk factor filled with a middle age, don't let me say middle age, young people, 30s and 40s, and it is scary. Most of the reasons, when you do ask just general interview, why, like what is going on in your life? Yes, I've been told I have high blood pressure, but I'm too young to take medications. Yes, I've been told I'm dead, but I don't think it's time for me to take medications. So that is the general reasons we are getting, and we think it's very worrying. So yes, it is true, the world is filled with 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds coming down with not just the first stroke. This is the third admission for the third different stroke, and it is alarming.
How about drug use? Can drug abuse lead to stroke?
It can. So then you have your normal stresses, and we have a lot of recreational drugs being used, the cocaine, the injectables, a lot of alcohol, a lot of smoking. There's a lot of stress and risk factors. Why add to it? That's always why add to it. So please, let's take care of ourselves, because it is happening. You're not too young to get a stroke. It is happening.
Erickson, so what's your day like?
Right now, my day has been messed up. I just wake up. Formerly, they used to bath me, dress me, feed me, and all those things. But through sustenance help and rehabilitation, I'm able to have my own bath, dress myself, eat myself, move about, go on a walk just by myself. And I'm always free because of the help sustenance and Ghana NCD Alliance are doing for me. I've removed some of the burdens in my mind, because stroke comes with financial difficulties. Medication and rehabilitation is very expensive. Physio charges me 150 Ghana every session.
How many sessions did you do in a month?
Usually I'm supposed to do 3 times a week.
Ooh.
150 per session. How am I going to afford it? And when the family or friends help to a stage, you become a burden towards them. So they have to neglect you. Sometimes when you call a friend or a family to express or to tell him something, he knows that you are calling for money. So he will not pick the call. You send messages.
How does that make you feel?
It makes you feel rejected. But one advantage I have now is through the help of Susnet and Ghana NCD Alliance, anytime I'm in need of something, I just pick up the phone, call them. Oh, is your medication finished? I said, yes. You just said the prescription over. You let someone get your medication for you, and it is done for me. Oh, what's the problem? Oh, maybe my daughter is going to school. I have a daughter in SS.
Okay.
She's in SS too now. My daughter is going to school. I need a little money for provisions. Oh, okay, how much will it be enough? Oh, I can afford this. I can afford this. Okay, help me with this. And I'm being helped. So right now I'm living on, I'm living on charity.
As a man, how does that make you feel?
I don't feel like money anymore. I don't feel myself as a man anymore, because formerly I was working, getting my own money, my own income, and doing whatever I want to hit. But now it's been regulated. When you go for some money. This one, make sure you buy your drugs. So make sure you send it to your child, as if you are going to use the money for another purpose. It makes me very saddened.
What keeps you going, though?
My faith in God. Because as He has seen me through, I have to work to see others survivors through. I have about 30 survivors under my care. Being the Greater Accra chairperson of SASNET, I have 30 survivors under my care. And when I see the plight that they go in, I feel so pity for myself, and I often cry secretly in the room. One of my survivors is living at Dansuma, accommodation problem, and the oldest son is 7 years, and they are not even up to the GSS level. How to cater for the wife? The wife used to work at a bank, but the bank has collapsed, and she's now at home. Fending for themselves, and even paying their rent and light bill and water bill is very difficult.
Yeah, it's a lot of challenges.
Very, very, very much.
But don't give up.
And I'm pleading with the next administration, the next government to come in to help us so that we, the stroke survivors, may be put on the LEAP program, so that at least we may get something bit to cater for even our drugs.
Alrighty.
And I'm pleading with the government, the next incoming government, to help so that they put stroke medications and stroke care on the health insurance, so that we'll be able to go out. Okay. Because right as at now, health insurance covers just a little.
So you want them to put it on the health insurance?
Yes, please.
I'll leave the last word with Alhaji Rahman Gariba. How do people get in touch to support your organization? Because you're doing a lot of good work for this.
Yes. What we're doing is having survivors support groups all over the place. I mean, this is Accra. We've established them in Sunyani. We've established them in the Volta region. It hasn't gone up to the north yet. But we have got our own sort of website.
Yes. How do we reach you? Give us the details.
Now, the details, what I've got here at the moment.
Facebook, yeah.
Yes. There is a phone number.
Let's have it. Let's have it.
Yeah. The phone number is from the president.
Are you on Facebook?
Yes.
We are on Facebook.
Good, so we should look for SASNET.
We are on Facebook.
We are on Facebook.
Okay, so SASNET. SASNET.
SASNET. SASNET Ghana.
And all the details will be there.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay.
But let me give you the phone number: 0245 825705.
Again.
And this 0245 825705. It will go to Dr. Ben Jobony.
Okay. So what do you need? Money, equipment. What do you need?
Resources, really.
Which is what? Money.
Money.
Cash.
So that we can do our own organization of events.
Okay.
That is crucial.
Good.
A lot of, at the moment, the support comes from Dr. Jobony and myself.
We'll put it out there so that people support you.
Yeah. Thank you.
And last word for Dr. Martin. One thing people should know about stroke to prevent it.
To prevent it, be greater than stroke. Do your exercise. This year, that's our theme, be greater than stroke. Eat well, eat to be greater than stroke, exercise to be greater than stroke, stay active. Try not to get a stroke because it has too many problems. We are trying not to get a stroke.
Okay. Erickson, last word. 30 seconds.
I'm pleading with the next government, incoming government, to build up rehabilitation centers in various districts and localities so close to us so that we could be able to move there for rehabilitation.
Awesome.
Especially the robotic rehabilitation.
All righty. Thank you so much. We're really grateful. Thank you for sharing your story. Erickson Arthur is a stroke survivor. Alhaji Rahman Gariba is director of SASNET, which is Stroke Association Support Network Ghana. And Dr. Frida Martin is going to be a neurologist in a short while. She's a physician specialist with an deep interest in neurology. It says, be greater than stroke. That's the theme for this year's World Stroke Day. My name is Kafui Day.
And we thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
For this opportunity.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. My big brother died of a stroke.
Each year, it presents an opportunity for judokas worldwide to come together and share their passion for the martial arts sport. The performers They do well, they perform, but this year, the Reformers Judo Club, one of the leading clubs in the country, has observed a day with a roadshow. The event featured a variety of activities aimed at promoting the sport and engaging the local community as they aim to inspire the next generation of judokas in Ghana. Judokas numbering over 60 participated. Renowned for having the best coaches in the nation, the club offers world-class training, helping athletes at all levels refine their skills and reach their full potential. At the end of the eye-catching performances, some judokas share the excitement.
All levels refine their skills and reach their full potentials. At the end of the eye-catching performances, some judokas shared the excitement.
I'm proud to celebrate our anniversary, which is Judo's Day, and I'm so excited. And I encourage people to come to join us in the Prisons Reformers Club.
The perception that sports is for male it's a huge lie. Sports is for everybody, and then coming in as a female to judo, it's a great pleasure because you are going to gain a lot from it. Not only participating in competitions like African Games, Olympics and stuff, but also you get to defend yourself as a female so that the men wouldn't think you are loose.
The USB's former 3-time Ghana judo heavyweight champion, Kamuru Abdullahi, known as King Kong, says despite little or no support from the national body, the Reformers Judo Club executives will do their best to develop more talent.
To show the love and the support that we have for the sport. Our goal is, to make sure that we push these sports far and far and far. Even some schools, it's going to be in their program. When they want to do sports, we're going to try to make sure reformers go in there, introduce judo to them so that at least they can understand what is self-defense about.
The president of Reformers Judo Club, Superintendent Victoria Iduamua, was happy at staging the event.
This is my first time of organizing this program, and I'm so happy to see these young children having that great interest in learning the sports to another higher level. So I'm encouraging all schools to introduce judo in their schools in order to prevent the children, especially when it comes to the ladies. They are always being attacked by their fellow men.
Reformers Judo Club says they are not just a training ground, but a community where excellence thrives.
All right, so let's move away from judo, switch our attention to football now. And Ghana U20 head coach Desmond Offa is determined to bring home the 2024 Waffle Zone B U20 Championship after the Black Satellites secured a hard-fought 2-1 victory over CA Côte d'Ivoire on Sunday. This win is not only clinch a spot in the finals, but also guaranteed them passage into the 2025 U20 African Cup of Nations. Speaking after the game, Coach Offa says, going into the game, it was a difficult match. We didn't get a great start. Côte d'Ivoire is a good team. They had a great plan and made some changes we didn't expect, but we fought hard. Let's go.
Togo, they want to give their absolute best. But we were the lucky ones that qualified, obviously, together with Niger in the group. Against Ivory Coast is going to be a tough game because we have massive respect for them. Very good team also. So I think on the day we have to be at our absolute 100 to be able to achieve something, yes. So we are not scared that the Togolese fans will support Ivory Coast against us. I think we hope that they will support us because we are family, we are closer to them. But all in all, I think the Togolese fans will support the best team. And on the day, we have to make sure that we are the best team. Once again, Ivory Coast is a very massive country in general. Their main A team won the AFCON. So you know that the spirit is very high. And that trickles down to all the national youth teams in confidence. We saw this in their first game where they won, obviously. And now against Nigeria, we saw their game against Nigeria, and it wasn't an easy one. They lost the game, but if the game carried on for additional 10-20 minutes, I'm sure they would have equalized. So we don't look at results. I think against us it's going to be a different game. We just have to be ready, and no matter what happens on the day, we have to make sure, like I said before, we are the best team. Now, we don't want to talk about defeat. We still have to play the game. for us is where we are now as a nation. We know that we are having an incredible project from the FA, and we believe that we have one of the strongest teams in the tournament. We just have to prove it, and it's going to be against Ivory Coast, and on the day, we have to show that we are the best. I think our biggest strength is the whole.
All right, and so Ghana comes up against arch rivals Nigeria in the finals. Let's move on now. And Kumasi Asante Kotoko Sporting Club's head coach, Dr. Prosper Nate Ogum, has refuted claims that his team was overpowered in the midfield during the 1-1 draw game against Baseke Holy Stars at Enyinase. The draw concluded Kumasi Asante Kotoko's streak of 3 consecutive victories, all achieved in a 1-0 victory scoreline, which included a win over reigning champions Samatex. Additionally, the match marked the 3rd consecutive game in which Kotoko performed forward scored with a goal against Baseke Holy Stars, the 4th time he has found the back of the net this season. In a post-match interview, Dr. Ogum countered the notions that his team is not playing too well and they have been overpowered in the midfield.
We played well. We had some control in certain segments within the game, especially in the first half and in the middle of the park. We had some control, and that gave us the opportunity to show a lot of creativity, especially up front, and create some chances. I think on the whole, in terms of how we played well.
After the goal, you lost the game to the Holy Stars in terms of keeping the ball and then possessing, especially your midfield were non-existent. Do you feel that it was that area that couldn't let you maintain the lead and to draw this game?
I don't think we lost the game to them. We lost the midfield. We rather had control over the midfield and even had the more probability of scoring again in the second half than them. It was out of the set piece, that's the corner kick. The goalkeeper fixed the ball. It went into an unmarked zone in the park in the second half.
All right, so away from the Ghana Premier League, let's move on to a man who tore a Togolese legend, took to the pitch one more last time on Sunday for a gala match in Lomé to celebrate his retirement. He was surrounded by a host of African football legends, including El Hadji Diouf, Nwankwo Kanu, Patrick Mumba, and Samuel Eto'o. Highlights on your screen.
I'm happy to share this moment with our brother Adebayo, who served our beautiful continent. How can we not celebrate him?
I'm very proud of Ade. It's a wonderful person, and I'm happy that the Togolese people love him. We appreciate him, and he made Africa proud.
A former striker for prestigious clubs such as Arsenal, Manchester City and Real Madrid, Adebayo has left his mark on football history. He played for 10 clubs in 25 years, took part in the 2006 World Cup and won the prestigious African Ballon d'Or in 2008. He has 88 caps for Togo, an accomplished career. He's one of Togo and Africa's best footballers because today he's a football legend for Togo. He's regarded as its best footballer of modern times. We have to recognize that.
All right, and we wish him all the best now to the 68th Ballon d'Or, and 28-year-old Rodri won the prestigious award for the first time after helping Manchester City win the Premier League and being a key player in the spirited Spain's European Championships triumph. He succeeded 8-time winner Leo Messi of Argentina.
I mean, it's something you never think of course. My dream was to play in the first division, you know, professional football. I don't even thought of these things, you know. I was a kid watching Messi and Cristiano lifting these kind of trophies every year, and my dream was to play one day with them, never to stand here talking to you right now. So this talks about that is a process, you know. I mean, I said, I think in the Euros, I think when I never put a target on myself to be this kind of player, you know. If you see the mountain, if you're in the low back, of course it's going to be very, very high. But if you have like small goals every day in your life, you will increase your level. One day you will be, oh, I'm very high, you know. And this is, I think, what happened. I never think of winning a Ballon d'Or, but the last years, I think I perform in the highest level of football. And the people that both consider that they were romantic about the football I did, so very pleased.
Congratulations to Rodri. Let's move on now to Manchester United, where United have sacked manager Erik ten Hag after the club's disappointing start to the season. United slipped to their 4th Premier League defeat of the season on Sunday at West Ham and sit at the bottom half of the table. They have won only one of their last 8 games in all competitions. A club statement read, Erik ten Hag has left his role as manager of United's first team as manager. Erik was appointed in April 2022 and led the club to 2 domestic trophies, winning the Carabao Cup in 2023 and the FA Cup in 2024. We are grateful to Erik for everything he has done during his time with us and wish him all the best in future. Ruud van Nistelrooy will take charge of the team as interim head coach, supported by the current coaching team, whilst a permanent head coach is recruited. Speculation over Ten Hag's future had regained intensity in recent weeks after the 54-year-old Dutchman remained at the role at the end of the season. United co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe kept faith with Ten Hag after United beat Manchester City to lift the FA Cup in May. But after only 3 wins from 9 league games, the club has taken a decision. United indicated that it was a unanimous and collective decision, albeit a difficult one to take. The PA news agency understands, and so the club had wanted to give Ten Hag a chance to work within a few sporting structures and set it up over that summer. But that's it. It's been looming, it's been coming for a long time now, and we have been talking about it. And so let's move on to our final story. And Tyson Fury says he feels sorry for Anthony Joshua but would like to fight him in the future. Joshua suffered the 4th loss of his professional career when he succumbed to IBF heavyweight champion the boy at Wembley Stadium in September.
I feel sorry for him at the minute because he's obviously been cleaned out in his last fight, called it out 5 round spark. So he's going to have to do that again or not and then decide his future, isn't he? You know what I mean?
I've never heard you say that you feel sorry for Anthony Joshua. That's
I've said it quite a lot actually. After every loss I felt a little bit down, deflated. Because when an adversary loses and it's not to you, you do feel down and depressed about it. I felt sad for him. I was probably the only person at ringside from my side of the ring that was sad. It was sad to see a worthy opponent lose his crown.
Would you still fight him though?
Yeah, I'm still fighting. Whether he's got 5 losses, 10 losses or 20, it's not important because at this stage of our careers, it's about having good fights and putting good fights on for the paying customer. And I still think it would be an entertaining, interesting fight for the paying pundit.
So if you were to win this fight...
All right, 5 losses, not the end of the road. As hopefully AJ bounces back. My name is Gloria Pepper. Thank you very much for watching on GTV. For those of us on GTV Sports Plus, that's a lot to talk about. The Ballon d'Or, Manchester United sacking their manager to everything. We're back with more after this break.
Missy Menanano, a group
As for me, I take very good care of my grandkids. Ye dear grow, na ye sa. A room maybe crana. Me bano timide, or maybe gumi so weekend.
Hey, woman,
remember? I don't think I'm a catcher. Say, ya no medi garlic capsules. Posun na a basic so kama. As I stand here, my doctor said my whole system has improved very well.
Medi
garlic capsules. Yes, Medi garlic capsules.
Oh,
Medimosis Garlic Capsules improves blood circulation and enhances the body. Suitable for both men and women. Available in pharmacy stores. Contact us on 050-349-4885. Not suitable for children under 12 years, pregnant women and lactating mothers. Medimosis. Who need how? This advert is FDA approved.
Luck is everywhere. 8K. Hey, wait. You go put it on his tab. This is my man. Good luck.
Bill Radio. We are star 712. It's much of a phone. I'm on dialing the magic numbers. Star 712. Now welcome to the luckiest. And now with me at home ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved one.
Mommy, tell mommy who's here.
You're buying for me, right?
Or who else?
Oh.
Let's choose buy tickets for others.
Love you, boo boo.
So maybe straight to option 4. You need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or preferred tickets. I'm choosing random tickets. Listen, if you buy the random ticket, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. 5. Now follow the prompts and confirm. Now the luckiest.
The Luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. TNCs apply.
Meet Kwame. He's not just any Kwame. He's Kwame the TV license legend. Kwame knows that by paying his TV license, he's supporting GBC, our public service broadcaster, and he's making a real difference. Kwame's contribution helps bring our communities closer together. Because of Kwame and others like him, we will all have access to amazing TV programs, educational content, plus broadcasting infrastructures are maintained and our culture is beautifully promoted. So GBC is asking all to respond to this civic obligation and pay your TV license fee. For individuals, it's 3 CDs per month or 36 CDs per year. If you have multiple sets, meaning 2 or more in your household, it's 60 CDs per year. For commercial institutions, it's your number of TV sets by 36 CDs per year, and you pay the invoiced amount directly to GBC. So let's all take a moment to appreciate Kwame, the TV license legend. Wherever you are, just dial *447*333# and follow the prompt. It's your civic duty, so pay your TV license today. GBC, the authentic and trusted voice of Ghana.
Stop Galamsey now.
No.
That's our hashtag. Good morning. Welcome. GTV Breakfast. CAF.
And Maltiti.
We're ready for you.
Yes.
It's time for the headlines. Okay.
The Daily Graphic leads to the big 139 days to elections. U.S. imposes visa restrictions and ban targets election troublemakers.
Yep.
Serious.
Headmaster is talking.
Yes.
The Chronicle.
In trouble.
81 modern school blocks ready. Editum tells the clergy in Kumasi. I guess it's a double headline. So what's this?
Zoom Lion wins hearts of Museveni. Ugandan president directs KCCA to hand over landfill site to Ghanaian conglomerates.
Revelations, I cannot see the number, but I think it's let us rejoice and be glad and give him glory for...
the wedding, yeah?
The lamb, of the lamb has come, and his bride has become ready.
Ready.
Yes. So some wedding vibes there from Revelations. Okay. Daily Guide.
Daily Guide says Ashanti clergy embraces education reform.
Okay.
That's the education minister.
All right, just a Daily Guide there. The Daily Dispatch, NDC's reset means cancellation of nurses' allowances. NAPO, that's their big headline over there. Okay. Oh.
The Daily Searchlight, was the Agona West shooter a policeman? Is a question on that big one. Story on page 2.
The printer's devil has attacked the Daily Searchlight. There's an E missing from policeman.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Newspaper bar. Okay, all right. Another paper, the Business Analyst.
CD expected to remain under pressure. Is what the Business Analyst leads.
Yes, I'm thinking of Raskimono's Under Pressure. Prof. Bruce likes that song so much. It's for the CD. Okay, so that's the anchor now. Alban Bagbin stokes fresh controversy, rejects Supreme Court writ served on Parliament. Okay, all right, so that's it. And you come back later for a conversation with
the running mate for the APC, and he's talking about inclusive governance, economic reforms, and policies. So you don't want to miss that conversation with the Reverend Kaf. I'm sure your guests would talk about Honorable Shirley Ayoko Botche as well in the Commonwealth.
Indeed.
That was a big headline yesterday.
All righty, okay.
So
see you later.
Good luck with you.
Bye-bye. Headlines now. Quarter to 8, hashtag Stop Galamsey now, hashtag GTV Breakfast. My guests are seated. John Kuku Jani is a forensic psychiatry specialist, and Dr. Eric Odro-Osai is Director, General Internal Audit Agency. I will be speaking with Zupok Tomi of the CDD Ghana, talking about the Afrobarometer report in a short while. But first of all, just to say hello to my guests. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Kafwe.
And we're hit with some sad news on the political front this morning, because there are reports, unconfirmed reports, that Madam Ekua Donko has passed away. Ghana Freedom Report.
That's too bad. If it's
Ghana Freedom Party.
If it is indeed true, we've lost an important person in politics. You can imagine the humor she always brings to bear as far as our elections are concerned. I hope it is not true. If it is true, it is not good for Ghana. It then tells us that we should all be careful about our health. Because in recent times, he was in the news. And she looked healthy, very healthy, cracking all kinds of jokes. When she even went to file her nomination at the EC, we all saw it on TV. So it's rather unfortunate if it is true. May her soul rest in peace. And it is happening too many. Just yesterday, another colleague, lawyer of ours, was also pronounced dead, lawyer Obimbenu Jr. And I think we should be careful about our health. We should pay particular attention to our health. It's not all about work. We should be very careful about our health. So may her soul rest in peace. May that of Lawyer Obimbenu Jr. also rest in peace. I hope it is not true in the case of Madam Ekua Donko.
Mr. Johnny.
I'm picking information. Good morning to everybody. I'm picking information that this incident happened at Rage, I think on the 16th of this month. Sad story. This is a woman who a lot of women have been aspiring to be like
for her to have been in politics, the ups and downs of it, and have survived it, and then at the end of the day, an incident like that happens, it's very, very sad and terrible. We are sure that the legacy will be left for a very long time, and that should not stop young women who want to follow the political trail to be having different thoughts. It's an interesting area for them. They need to be on the same level with the men, and as I understand it, there are more women in Ghana than men, and therefore we encourage them not to be deterred by this incident. But I also go back to what Prof said, Director said, that the illnesses that kill us today are the non-communicable diseases, heart diseases, diabetes, and all of it. And therefore, the Ministry of Health itself will need to start reconfiguring the sector a little bit. In Germany and other parts of the world, we're having one-stop shop for non-communicable diseases. I'm sure when you go to Korle Bu today, the stroke unit is different from where other issues are. So you need to have one-stop shop, a place where emergency for stroke assessments are made, a diagnosis is quickly made, treatment plans are made within the same environment. And therefore, you are better off in being handled by the specialists within the same compound. We have enough land at Korle Bu and other parts of the health sectors that it's not malaria all the time. And the diseases have changed now. And we must plan according to that changes that are happening in the health sector.
Thank you so much. Let's go on the lines right now and speak with the Deputy Director of Research at the Electoral Commission, Mr. Fred Tete. Fred, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kafui.
So,
good morning to everyone.
Yes, so we are getting unconfirmed reports that one of the people on the electoral list has passed. Have you had that? Have you had that information from the Ghana Freedom Party with respect to Ekuya Donkor?
Thank you. At the moment, I'm not within the Electoral Commission space. I'm somewhere within the Oti region in Kwanta. I'm yet to find out from the head office whether the party has formally written to the commission.
Okay.
But I've checked with some directors at the head office as well, for which they are saying that they've heard that news.
So what happens, because I've heard a lot of people ask, does this, first of all, may her soul rest in perfect peace, or our condolences to her family. There are questions about, okay, there's an election in 39 days. What happens when it comes to light that somebody on the list for the election has passed?
Okay. I think, thank you very much for this opportunity. When you look at the laws that we have from the Constitution to the election laws to the CI, they all say the same thing as stated across board. First, you look at the Article 54 of the 1992 Constitution. It talks about death after nomination has been received. Law 284, Section 11.2 also talks about the same thing. And then CI 127, Regulation 13.4 takes the same thing on there. This is the first time this has happened on presidential nomination for a presidential candidate. It's very sad. But when you look at the past elections for parliamentary and then assembly elections, we've been experiencing the same kind of occurrence. In this case, what the law says is that where nomination has been taken and then at the close of nomination, before the elections, a candidate dies, fresh nominations is open for 10 days. Okay. So what we have is that, like you said, we have more than 30 days. Okay. That same articles and sections of the laws and the regulations say that if the death occurs within 25 days to the day of the election, then the election has to be postponed for 21 days. Okay. But in this case, we have more than 25 days to the elections. So we have to reopen nominations for 10 days. And then after that, we continue the elections.
So it's not as...
I'm speaking to the law.
Yes, indeed.
Right. But looking at the fact that I think the commission would go very far with our preparation and other things, I think the legal brains have to come in. I think legal consultation with stakeholders and then see what we can do, because preparation has gone very far. And looking at my knowledge of where we've reached, the parties can attest to it that the volumes of the presidential ballots have already been printed and gone very far between the presidential ballots. So I think we need further consultation legally and then among people.
So for the presidential election, do you have the faces of the candidate or you have the party symbols?
Oh, in Ghana, we have the pictures of the candidate, faces of the candidate, and then the party symbols as well, plus their names. Okay. Unlike other jurisdictions where you have just the symbol. We have all the three. You have the faces, you have the name, you have the party symbols as well.
Right.
On the ballot.
But would it not be upsetting to have the face of somebody who has died on the ballot? If you're saying time has gone, wouldn't that be strange and weird, really?
Well, I think I agree to what you are saying, but it all depends on, yes, we are a nation. The law is there, yes. We go strictly by the law, fine. Mm-hmm. We can also look at it in terms of at this level, what do we do? It's quite tricky, it's quite tricky.
Where has the EC gotten with the printing of the ballot papers?
Oh, we've gone very far. We've gone very, very far. Very, very far. I can't give you a percentage as to in terms of presidential, but we've gone very, very far in a way. It has happened before where I think in 2015 when the Electoral Commission was ordered by the Supreme Court to restart everything in terms of the District Assembly elections. So, well, let's see the decision that will come from the Commission.
I'm just speculating. If the Ghana Freedom Party decides to get their current vice presidential candidate to be the presidential candidate, it would only be fair that his face is on before the number 3 and not the face of somebody who has died.
Yes, you see, that's why I was saying that it has so many permutations after that in terms of the legality of it. The law talks about nomination, so it's like re-nomination. And another thing that comes to mind is it is also possible if you reopen the nomination, all those who were also disqualified can refile. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I get your point. But is it not just a question of just replacing whoever has passed on with a new person to occupy the same number 3 spot?
Exactly. So that's another area, but it's not specifically dictated in the law. So that's where you need the lawyers to come and then explain and then advise.
Alrighty.
Because when you read it openly, the way it is, when it says re-nomination or reopen nomination, it says open nomination. When you open nomination again, what it means is that you are restarting everything afresh. New people can enter, others can opt out. Okay? Right. So in this case, assuming they decided that, because the woman has passed, we are no longer interested in the elections. What happens is that their money will be refunded to them.
Okay.
Right.
And what will happen to the opposition?
There could be others who also would like to opt out. their money can be refunded. Because in this case, they didn't contest the election again. Right. In terms of the position, the moment the person, when the person withdraws, is different from it's almost like when the person dies. So when the person withdraws, in this case, it is a push-up.
Okay.
I don't understand whether you understand.
Well, it appears that some confusion has to be cleared up very soon. With the time also taking away.
We need to ask the legal people to advise.
Can we expect a statement from the EC soon?
The country is experiencing and it's quite sad.
Indeed.
Yes, my condolences to the family.
Indeed. Indeed. All right. I don't know whether my people have any questions you want to ask the Electoral Commission.
Not at all.
Okay.
No.
All righty. Mr. Tete, thank you so much. Safe journey back from OT.
You're welcome.
And
thank you, my brother.
Thank you for the information. So that's Mr. Fred Tete, Deputy Director of Research at the Electoral Commission, speaking about the consequences that will follow on the demise of somebody who is on the ballot as a presidential candidate with 39 days to the election. Watch this space, as they say in the media. You're watching GTV Breakfast. These are our headlines this morning. Unconfirmed reports suggesting that the leader of Ghana Freedom Party, Ekuo Donko, Madam Ekuo Donko, has passed away. U.S. imposing visa bans on individuals who undermine Ghana's democracy. Speaker of Parliament rejects Supreme Court writ on vacant seats ruling. And breaking down the Afrobarometer report is where we are going to next, right after this break. Do not go anywhere. Welcome once again. Kafui Day here with Zupok Domishi, is a senior research analyst with the CDD Ghana, yes. And you are the authors of this report, yes. The Afrobarometer report. Tell us what it is, and then we dive into it.
Okay, so Afrobarometer, I would say, started as a project in 1999. Mm-hmm. So it's 25 years now. Okay. And basically, it's now an institution on its own since 5 years ago. And it's a Pan-African, non-partisan, not-for-profit network. And what it does is basically give voices to citizens in various African countries to express their views on various issues spanning from governance, economic, social issues, our democratic issues. Yeah, so for CDD, Ghana have been the national partner for Afrobarometer since 1999, and also double as a core partner for West Africa and Anglophone West Africa and North African countries. Now we are in the 10th round of surveys, and as at round 9, 42 countries were surveyed in Africa. And for Ghana, we are in our 10th round. And so since round 5, our sample size have been 2,400. So the sample size vary from country to country. In Ghana, our sample size have been 2,400. And the methodology we use is nationally representative sample. And our sample is distributed proportion to the population of the various regions. We don't look at district level, but we use Ghana's Discuss Service enumeration areas. And we work with Ghana's Discuss Service closely to do the sample. So first of all, we distribute by regions and we distribute by urban, rural, and then they help us with this.
Okay, what are the highlights of this particular report? What questions were you asking people?
Oh, the questions are a lot, like
okay, areas.
A lot.
What are the
so
areas?
General areas, we look at governance, democracy, economic conditions, public services. So for the governance and democracy, of course, elections will feature, support for democracy will feature, what people think about supply for democracy will feature in such questions. We have questions on gender, we have questions on youth, we have questions on climate change, a lot more questions on citizen participation.
Okay.
Yes. So this year it's our 10th round, and the rounds are every 2 years. And we collected data in August this year.
Of this year?
Of this year, yes.
All right.
Of this year, yes.
Okay.
And we release our findings in series so that we don't overload the public with what they have given us and we're giving back to them.
Yes.
Yes.
It's enough pressure already. So we're looking at elections.
Yes.
And so break this down for me. What does this mean?
So, elections is a big pillar when it comes to our democracy. And so this looks at support for democracies. Basically, citizens are asked over the years, in fact, since round 1, which of the following statement is close to your view? We should choose our leaders through elections, regular, open, and honest elections, or since elections sometimes produce bad results, we should adopt other methods in choosing our leaders. And if you look closely, we have had huge support for elections as the method of choosing our leaders in Ghana.
In 2002, it was 89%.
Yes.
In 2024, it's 81%.
Yes, so there's
declining.
a decline.
Okay.
There's a decline, but we are still in the ranges of
the 80s.
80, so 8 in 10.
It was really high in 2012, 93%.
Yes.
2012, okay.
Yes, it was really high. But if you look at the decline, it's also kind of, it also shows an increase in people who think that we should choose election using other methods that have increased to 18%.
From 8% in 2000
yes.
to 18%.
Yes.
Did they tell you why?
Well, not exactly. We don't ask the why questions.
Okay.
But because the questions are a lot, we are able to do cross-tabulation. We are able to do models to understand what is going on for which citizens are choosing other methods.
Okay.
So you can do that.
Next question. The statement was, political parties create division and confusion. It is therefore unnecessary to have many political parties in Ghana. Yes. And this is how people voted. This is how people responded.
Yes.
So in 2002, it was 57% agreed with that statement, right?
Yes.
And now in 2024, it's 69%.
Yes.
They believe political parties create division and confusion. And therefore, it's unnecessary to have many.
So this only looks at people who agree with Statement 2.
Okay.
And Statement 2 says that many political parties are needed to make sure that Ghanaians have a real choice in who governs them.
This is Statement 2?
Yes.
Okay, and so it says 69% believe so.
Yes.
That we need more and more parties. Yes. Okay. Up from 57% when you started, so that's good.
Right, that's good.
Okay.
That's good.
All right.
Yes.
Opposition parties should hold government accountable versus cooperate with government.
Yes.
And this is the trend from 2022 to 2024.
Yes.
So interpret this for me.
Okay. So basically we're looking at the role of opposition, right? And so citizens who said that opposition should hold government accountable in 2022, 41% said that, but now it has decreased to 33%, and automatically that decrease kind of shift opinions to people who think opposition should cooperate with the government. That is 66% in 2024.
So we want more Jojo.
We want more Jojo.
Okay. Now, this is participation in the 2020 election.
Yes. So we do look at questions around the previous elections. And if you look closely, we have people who said they voted 77%. That is closely mirrored to the Electoral Commission's report on voter turnout in 2020.
But this is big. I did not vote, 20%.
Yes.
One in 5 did not vote. That's massive. Don't you think so?
That's massive. That is massive. Yeah. Yes, that's massive.
And then 2% said I was too young to vote, so below the age of 18. Yes. Okay. So freeness and fairness of the 2020 election. So 32% believe it was completely free and fair. 28% believe it was free and fair, but with minor problems.
Yes.
and 17% free and fair, but with major problems. 15% not free, not fair.
Yes.
Pretty straightforward.
Yes.
Okay. So
and we have the trend that shows that. So this is really good because with the trend, you're able to see in between elections. And if you look closely, we have the 2016 election there. We have the 2020 election there. And if you look at the data for 2017, you would notice that it's actually the highest where citizens say that the 2016 election were completely free and fair.
2/3.
Yes.
That was massive.
Yes.
But the numbers are shrinking.
Numbers are shrinking.
2017, 66% say it was free and fair. 2019, 59%. 2022, 37%. 2024.
Yes.
Should we be, how do we interpret, should we be worried? When more and more people, less and less people think elections are free and fair?
We should be. We should be worried that more and more people have such opinion and sentiment about the election. And that calls for a lot of actions to be taken, and not just by the Electoral Commission, but all electoral management boards.
Yeah, stakeholders,
NCCs, political parties. Yes.
Okay, so this is fear of intimidation or violence. This is, they were talking about what happened in 2020, right?
Yes, this is 2020 elections.
So
where people are afraid that the campaigns in the 2020 election, they would become victim of political intimidation or violence.
Okay.
And 85% said they were not afraid.
They were not afraid. So that's quite good.
That's quite good.
Okay.
That's quite good for political. Yes.
Okay, so ballot secrets, everything. Your vote is your power.
Your vote is your power.
Nobody should know what you're voting
exactly.
and how you're voting. How likely do you think that it is powerful people can find out how you voted, even though there's supposed to be a secret ballot in the country? And 83% said not likely or not very likely at all.
At all.
Okay.
Yes.
Quite good as well.
Yes. Very.
Okay. Now, if elections were held tomorrow, and this was in August when you asked this question, correct? Yes. Would you vote for a party or an independent candidate?
Well, no. The question is, if elections were held tomorrow, which party's candidate will you vote for?
Okay.
So the first bar shows persons who said they would vote for a party or an independent candidate. So those frequencies were added up, and we have 56% saying that they would vote. We still have a worrying percentage of 16% who said they would not vote, and they don't know, refuse, are still within the floating voters. You don't know whether they will decide on the day to go and vote or not.
That's the black box there, because they can go and vote on that day and turn everything upside down.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
But still, even this may also change their mind.
All right. Okay.
So if they get convinced.
Then they change their mind. This is a voter apathy.
Yes.
So the question was, if presidential elections were held tomorrow, which party's candidate would you vote for? And this was in August.
Yes. So basically, this was crossed up by people who said they feel close to a political party. So we have the citizens who said they felt close to CPP, citizens who said they felt close to NDC, citizens who said they felt close to MPP, and of course, people who said they don't feel close to any political party, or they were not willing to disclose. So for CPP, you have 29%. For NDC, you have 1%. NPP, you have 6%. And those who said they do not feel close to any party or chose not to disclose their view to us, 24%.
So here you are measuring a voter apathy.
Yes, we are measuring voter apathy by party supporters or people who feel close to a party.
Okay.
What are their thoughts? Will they go out and vote? And which party supporters will actually go out more, or which party supporters would hold back more?
Okay, all right.
Yes.
So CPP, a lot. Not interested. Okay, all right. Let's go. So the respondents were asked, if presidential elections were held tomorrow, which party's candidate would you vote for?
Yes.
And the percentage of those who said they would not vote is here.
Percentage of persons who said, so from the 16% that we saw in the first slide of if elections were held tomorrow. So if we look at it by age, you see the young, really the apathy is more within the youth population.
Yeah.
So you have the 18 to 25 and then 26 to 35.
So if you take them together, that's 38%, which will be between 18 and 35, who would not vote. That's a lot. And then 36 to 45, 13%. It keeps decreasing as they get older.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe older people like to vote more than younger people, or are more willing to go and vote.
I'm more willing to go and vote.
Okay.
And this speaks a lot to maybe the next two slides we would see, because maybe happenings are informing whether they want to vote.
All right. Respondents were asked, if presidential elections were held tomorrow, which party's candidate would you vote for?
Yes. So the same question looking at other demographics. So we have more urban people having voter party higher among urban women.
Women too?
Yes, 20%.
Yeah.
Really.
That's a lot. Your people.
My people. Please, let's come out and vote.
Oh, let's go back. Let's go back a little bit.
Let's come back. Let's come out and vote on
And then with education.
Yes, education to the persons who are more educated. So you have post-secondary and secondary, 18%. And then you have those who have experienced poverty, low-lived poverty, 18%.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Good. Thank you. Interesting stuff. What will influence voters' choice? And the question was, let's talk about your vote in the upcoming general election. As a voter, please tell me how much your choice of political party or candidates will be influenced by the following factors. And the biggest one that jumps out to me is the candidate's honesty.
Yes.
So if people think that the candidate is honest, then they vote for that person.
Yes.
Okay. Followed by character.
Yes.
Followed by campaign promises. So the campaign promises that people are not really moved by them.
You may look at it that way,
compared
but
to
you
honesty.
should also look at it in the sequence of it. So if you bring your campaign promise out, and I don't feel your honesty,
then
it will not really speak much to me.
I get you.
So yes, honesty is big in people's mind. The character is big in people's mind, followed by the campaign promise.
Candidates running made 21%. A lot will affect people's... Money, gifts, and favors. I'm happy with that figure.
Yes, I am.
The bribers can bribe.
Yeah,
and
I am
affect
too.
them.
Oh, when I saw this, I was really excited about it.
That's my figure of the morning.
Yes.
Money, gifts, and favors.
And then I'm also excited about religion and ethnicity.
So those who are pushing the ethnic conversation and then the religion, they're wasting their time, really.
Yes.
People don't really factor those issues. It's mostly your honesty, your character, campaign promises, and maybe running mate as well, in that order.
Yes.
Okay, this is good news. Okay, approach to voting. The question was, please tell me which of the following best describes how you intend to vote in the upcoming 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. Yes. So 58%, let's look at that big number. So presidential and parliamentary candidates from the same party. Yeah. Almost 60% say they will vote, so no skirt and blouse for almost 60%.
Almost 6 in 10 say they will not do skirt and blouse.
Okay, and the skirt and blouse where you do one presidential and one parliamentary, is 15%.
Close to 1 in 5.
Okay, all right. Those who would vote for independent presidential and parliamentary candidates, 6%. Another combination, not candidates from the same political party, 1%. Not decided on how to go vote, 7%. So, okay, so basically... That's a big one.
That's a big one. That's a big one. Almost and 60%. If you look at not decided how I'm going to vote and will not vote, if you look at those two figures and think about the previous slides we just came from, you would notice that it's still within the same range of citizens who said they will not vote in the election.
Indeed. Yes. So if the trend continues, skirt and blouse will not be such a big factor in the election.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. All right. Very interesting insights. So these are your key findings.
So last week we released also on trust as well as corruption. And
so the military is trusted?
Yes.
Religious leaders?
Yes.
Traditional leaders?
Yes.
NGOs like you are the most trusted?
Yes.
Okay. Trust in key state institutions officials witnessed marginal declines compared to 2022. But major decline since 2012.
Yes.
So over 12 years.
Over 12 years, there's a major decline.
In trust. In public officials.
Yes.
Now, the mostly perceived as very corrupt are the police, the presidency, the tax collectors, MPs, judges, and magistrates.
Yes.
This is very worrying.
Very, very worrying. Most of them, in fact, all of them are public institutions, which are there to serve us as citizens.
Wow.
So if we have these views about them, is very worrying. It speaks a lot, and it's not so surprising given a lot of the news that we have heard over the years.
Indeed.
Yes. So.
And then almost 3 out of 4 Ghanaians say the level of corruption in the country has increased somewhat or a lot over the past year, which is a 3 percentage point decline compared to 2022.
Yes.
And about a quarter of Ghanaians believe that people can report corruption without fear of retaliation.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really good.
That is not good.
Because you're afraid that if you report corruption, nothing will happen. Or something will happen to you. So then you see something going wrong, and then you just don't report it for fear of something happening to you. Okay, so these are the key findings. Yeah. Is there any more that Afrobarometer wants to tell us?
Oh, there's more to come.
Okay.
As I said, we release in series. So this week on Thursday, we're releasing on views on the economy, government performance, assessment of basic needs, and the most important problem for Ghanaians that they want government to address.
Which is it? What is it?
I don't know.
You don't
Thursday.
know? Do you ask any questions about Galamsey?
Yes, we in the previous rounds, we actually had a battery of questions on Galamsey, but there's one question that remains in our since round 9 on Galamsey is government performance on fighting.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
But we do look at climate change and environment, generally people's view on that. And Galamsey issues definitely will inform people's view on this.
Okay. I'm wondering whether Dr. Osai and Mr. Jani have any questions for you, Zupok. I've seen them taking notes very studiously.
Yes. What I want to ask is, why is this survey coming too late? Because the political parties are done with their manifestos, they've launched their manifestos, elections. We're going into the elections in the next 39 days. Asking citizens or voters what they want the political parties to address is like telling them that they should push political parties to revise their manifestos. Is it not coming too late?
Thank you. The question is more on what they want the government to address, and this question have been asked over the years since 1999, since the first round, and is to inform policy priorities of Ghanaian citizens. And that said, yes, we agree that the timing is so close to the election, and as I said, we do collect it every 2 years. So it was not so planned. Ghana had to actually go to the field this year, 2024, and it's not only Ghana. We have so many countries, and it's serialized from country to country and in terms of schedule. So this is the time that we have had, and we are able to release it. So we are actually trying to release it early. That we would have released next month, actually, but because of the season, we are actually pushing to release the first 2 within this month, and then serialize the others after the elections. Yes.
Mr. Johnny.
Yes, I'm very happy with this work that you do, and I'm sure you are going to reevaluate it in the next few weeks too, to bring out other issues.
Yes.
It's scientific, so it's the nearest to the truth, I would have thought. I thought I had something similar to what you were saying about a week ago. So it's all on the same page.
This was released last week.
Okay,
so yes,
this helps the research departments of all the political parties to look at themselves and say, look, I think that the public is getting more knowledgeable than we think they are. Policymakers will have to rethink how they set out their policies and all that. So that is the way we should go. And I talk about policy. It's the only thing that is going to get it out of this quagmire as we sit here now. So I thank you very much for it. Keep it up. And well done for the job that you're doing.
You like the forensic approach?
Absolutely.
Zupok,
yes,
thank you for a great job done.
Thank you.
What do you want to leave us with before we release you back to CDD?
Well, I just want to say these are citizens' views. Afrobarometer aims to give voices to the citizens. So whatever we call it, it's citizens' views. It's not CDD's view. It's not Afrobarometer.
Are people going to be bashing you?
Oh, yes.
Politicians will be bashing you. They don't like the numbers.
Well, we will see. Yes, there's no round that every round somebody's not happy with
What's
the
the
numbers.
same, a recurring complaint that you hear all the time that you can always predict that this is what they're going to say when you release your report?
Oh, most people would want to attack the methodology.
The sample size?
Yes, but it's a scientific methodology.
Okay.
And our sample size gives us a plus or minus 2 margin of error at a confidence of 95. Okay. So I would say a window of opportunity between -2 and +2 to have your findings within that. If you replicated that, let's say 100 times, 95 times, you would get that. So it's scientific. So that is what we have used, and a citizen's view. So we hope that government, various stakeholders would use the data to inform policy, inform their actions as well as strategies.
Don't be discouraged. Don't mind that. Keep doing your work.
Yes, we'll keep doing our work.
Zupok Jumi from CDD Ghana, they authored that report, Afrobarometer. Let the people have a say.
Yes.
I like their slogan.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yes. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
I'm going back to my people.
Yes.
Yes, magic, eh? I left the wall, I'm here now. Just before I read the messages, gentlemen, did you read that story or hear that story about the U.S. Embassy or the U.S. government basically putting a ban on any Ghanaians who tamper with our democracy? You heard about it, right?
Yeah, I heard about it. I mean, they are not putting a ban. They are just...
Don't restrict people.
They are just expressing an intention and support for our democracy.
No, they won't allow you to come to their country if you misbehave.
But let me develop my point. One, they said they are supporting our democracy, and that is a way of supporting our democracy that, look, if you undermine the democracy and peace in Ghana, they will not allow you to come into their country. And this is not the first time. In fact, they've been doing it without publishing, without telling us. So, but it shouldn't take the U.S.
Exactly.
It shouldn't take any country to come and tell us that we shouldn't undermine our democracy. But they are expressing an intent, and I think we should take it seriously. And it tells us that most of the people who undermine our democracy have the intention of maybe running to the U.S. Because the other countries they could go. So why the U.S.? Maybe they have also done their statistics, and they have empirical basis to put that data out there. But I'm saying that you shouldn't take them to come and tell us we should not undermine our democracy. We know what is right, and we will not undermine our democracy.
Mr. Johnny.
Well, Mr. Blinken, I said it all, but I think that's an ambassadorial statement. There's more to it than what he says. It's just saying to you people, if you mess up and you keep messing up, don't come to our country. End of story.
End of story.
All the money that to stash that we don't bring it. We'll kick you back. So I'm sure you have years to listen. We'll hear, because the embarrassment when it comes, we'll all be in Ghana, we hear of it.
There's a comment here from Ejureta. It's disheartening to hear of the U.S.'s involvement in Ghana's local elections by imposing visa restrictions on individuals who undermine democracy in the country. My main concern is this: doesn't Ghana have its own laws to protect democracy and its citizens? If such laws exist, why isn't the U.S. supporting Ghana, a developing nation, in enforcing these laws to safeguard its people, democratic process? Does the USA only take issue if individuals causing instability in Ghana also seek entry into their country? It's surprising that Ghana's political leadership appears untroubled by this announcement from the USA, which ostensibly aims to protect Ghana's democracy. If the only motivation for people in Ghana to act responsibly is fear of losing access to U.S. visas, then it raises a serious question about the effectiveness of Ghana's legal and judicial systems. Are they failing their role? It seems that the most effective way to ensure accountability may be the threat of visa restrictions from developed nations like the U.S. and Europe, rather than reliance on local governance alone. I am deeply troubled for my country, Ghana. Thank you very much. Some people are responding to Madam Ikuya's Donko. The last time I saw Madam Ikuya Donko was Friday at Atinka Media Village. Her demise is so shocking. May her soul rest in peace. Good morning to you. One of the key factors that can propel Ghana towards economic prosperity is the development of a strong and vibrant private sector. Well, thank you so much. More messages coming in. There was an Afrobarometer comment I saw somewhere that I want to read. No wonder the Afrobarometer is giving us the institutions as the least trusted. When you have a president and government which doesn't respect the very people who voted them into power, and the president's primary priority is himself, his family and friends, and his party, than bettering the lives of the Ghanaians. It's all about leadership, parochial interest that has given us this report, responding to the Afrobarometer 055-556-1034. Speaker Bagbin is in the news and in the comments as well. I think Speaker Bagbin's rejection of the Supreme Court's writ on declaration of 4 seats vacant is the best reply we expected. Can the Speaker intervene in the ruling of the Supreme Court? No. So why does the Supreme Court intervene in Parliament's proceedings? The Speaker knows his work and you cannot bypass him to court. So and then you are saying the MPP has to accept that they are the minority in Parliament, et al., et al. Thank you for your messages. So we've broken down the Afrobarometer report. We've spoken about the Ghana Freedom Party's Equiator. You say imposing visa bans on individuals undermining Ghana's democracy. The Speaker of Parliament has rejected the Supreme Court writ on the vacant seats ruling. You saw that?
I saw that.
What does it mean?
Yes, I mean, it's clear that under Article 117, that the Speaker, a Member of Parliament, or anybody working with Parliament cannot be served with the court process, whether going to court or going to do the business of Parliament or any other activity related to Parliament. And subsequent to that, the Judicial Secretary has also issued a notice or a directive in that regard. So the Speaker is just trying to draw the Judicial Service's attention to the need to comply with the article, the relevant article, Article 117, as far as serving of a process is concerned. So that's all. I mean, and it is testing our law, because if you cannot serve them, then it means the bailiffs did the wrong thing. That's what he's trying to say. So he's gone back to court or the Judicial Service for them to do the needful. That's all.
Okay, so that's the notice from the Speaker. Let me just read it for you. And it basically says, this is from the Speaker to the Registrar. I'm directed, this is from the Registrar to the, this is a letter. I'm directed by Right Honourable Bagbin, Speaker of Parliament, to return the attached processes left at the Legal Services Office of the Parliamentary Service by 3 bailiffs of the court on 16th October 2024. Attempts were made to serve the same processes on Tuesday, October 15. Right Honourable Speaker notes that the attempted service is contrary to Article 117 of the 1992 Constitution and the circular issued by Her Ladyship Justice Cranting, Junior Secretary, and copy to the Honourable Lady Chief Justice with reference number SCR9, entitled Enforcement of Articles 117 and 118 of the Constitution, Immunity from Service of Process and Arrest, dated 12 July 2024. Consequently, the Right Honourable Speaker has directed return of the attached processes for your necessary action. Signed, Ebenezer Ahuma, Jethro, Deputy Clerk. So, return to sender, right? Back to sender.
I think...
Mr. Johnny, Ghana politics is interesting.
It's very, very, very interesting, isn't it? But anytime we have a huge problem like this, it is an opportunity to solve huge problems through the problems that we have. And I suspect that the same Speaker who has sent the letters back is the same Speaker who helped in solving the problem. Mr. Babin seems to have, is a thinker. I see him as a thinker. Otherwise, this whole issue will have collapsed the Parliament House by this time. But he's used a certain strategy, a common sense approach to have brought it to this far. Eventually, I'm sure he's the same person who will make suggestions with other noble men as to how to solve this problem. This problem will be sorted out, I'm sure. But I think what he's trying to test is to test the system and say, look,
So eventually,
Parliament has back. So I know it will be resolved, but not each other for the purpose we'll learn and then we'll rewrite rule of law.
And it's a problem.
Today is World Stroke Day.
Is it?
Yes. And we had a conversation on stroke this morning.
Yes.
Any thoughts on that?
Oh, I think the initial comments I made was to do with that, and that so much food being imported into the country, which has been kept in organic food, yams, plantain, which is very traditional to our foods. So we must look and advise. Has never been part of our dietary intake. The food is very important. Alcohol. I'm glad the young men are not smoking these days, as we used to do.
Things, man. You know about shisha?
Yes. Yeah. And a bit of drugs here, left, right, and center.
A lot of drugs.
That has been with us for years, even at the school level, at the SHS level. So the point I'm making is that it's not as overt as it used to be before, where any club you go, the people everyone has a packet of cigarette in his pocket with a lighter. It was very fashionable.
It was very fashionable back then, yeah.
Today it is not, and we are happy with that.
But maybe they are hiding and doing it. That's even more dangerous now.
Well, years ago people used to hide because of their parents.
Yeah.
But you go to a club.
Yeah.
The clubs are not even functioning like they used to do before. We don't have.
Were you a club guy back in the day?
Very much so.
What were your clubs? Where were you going?
Oh, Charlie.
I want to know. I mean, it's gone now. You can talk about it.
What's Bechaju? Have you heard of Bechaju?
Bechaju, kill the cat.
Bechaju.
No, Bechaju is a rat.
It's an ant. Kill the ant. Bele no bole. It was a Tudu, yes.
Tudu.
It was a small club, but you had Fela Kuti. You've heard of Fela Kuti and the guy who was to be in South Africa used to be
Masekela.
Yeah, they all used to, run through it.
So what is there now? What is that now? So what building is there now?
It's somebody's house that had a small place, but it was the groupings. It was the crowd. Even if you ask the president today, his group was the Phantoms 5.
Oh, they had squads.
Amwasechi, Jody, what we call. There's a whole group. My old man was part of that group. His father's house, where there was a hotel, Hiruhariram. Yes. That's where they used to play drums and band. And they had school bands, many school bands.
Pop chain.
Spim and Asadel, and all their bands like Augustus, Famous Flames. It was a different game altogether. Those were the golden age. Bechachu no bole. It's not around anymore. But the boys, half of the boys are not around anymore. But there's a few guys around. As Mama Nelson is around in town today. He's from London. Mr. Baxparty. That was their house, the Baxpartys. The house was in Tudu. That's where the whole incident were happening.
Wow.
It was fantastic. Fantastic, yes.
I used to have things like afternoon jams.
Yes.
Right in the hot afternoon and you're jamming.
Yes. Because when Kwame Nkrumah came out with Work and Happiness, and when the British people left, the independence brought a certain happiness to people. And it was beer and drinking, the Ramblers, but it was drinking and merrymaking all the time.
Enjoyment.
And then you had feeding from the US, from the James Brown and Aretha Franklin, Soul to Soul, and all those things were adding to it. So it was a different culture altogether. Very different.
Were you a club guy?
No, I'm not. I was not, and I can't be. So with what he's saying, I think we've lost. We're just learning. I couldn't have gone for any club. No, I couldn't. Because of the kind of parents I had.
What year group were you?
It was difficult. It was just the 70s. It was difficult.
Your father was an Osofo?
Yes. Not an Osofo, but this is a strict disciplinarian who would make sure that you have to account for every minute of your time.
Is that right?
Well, I don't know whether it's right or not, but
that's what you live with.
Yes, he will make sure you account for every minute of your time.
Were you stubborn?
I wasn't that stubborn, but he wants you to account for it.
But how? If he gives you school?
Well, I went to boarding school in the secondary school. Yes. But when he even gives you a pen, he expects that you should write till the pen gets finished, and you have to bring the empty container for a new one. So you will struggle to look for the empty container. If you can't find the empty container, then you use your money to buy a new pen. But you don't go to him for a new pen.
Show working.
So
is this still alive?
No, he's passed. He's passed.
May recipes. Yes, it is. Yeah. Oh, this one. It's not as if I want to remind you of any pain. But, well, Presec is also like my school, you know. And this time they're some way.
No, but it's good. It's good because if Presec had qualified to even the finals, there wouldn't have been any competition.
You would have won?
No, the competition would have to produce new winners for it to be a competition.
Okay.
And Presec would have to step back. And then the complacency was just becoming too much.
For real, eh?
Yes, for real. So we think that, look, produce a new winner and then give us another opportunity to compete.
Some people say, Presec guys, you get more.
No, that's it. If we had won for the ninth time, then it ceases to be a competition. So they should produce other winners and then let's
then
see
you come back.
Or we'll come back and dethrone the winner.
But I like the way they prepare for this National Science and Math quiz.
Right,
At any point in time, they have like 20 young people from Form 1 to Form 3 all studying, and they have the old school students getting involved, former winners getting involved. So they're quite serious about it.
From another angle, you see, when you come to a place, you go to the UK, in America, for example, and some of the boys are well trained and disciplined and educated here. A course that should take 3 years, within a year, the guy is going
it's accelerated.
It's gone. So our IQ at the SH level is well tuned.
Yes.
Especially those guys who went to boarding school.
Yeah.
You know, you start speaking English and this white person say, well, I thought you were from Africa. How did you learn how to speak English?
We learned it.
Yes. So, you know.
And survival skills and all kinds of other skills.
Yes.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I must thank you. I've enjoyed the conversations. We've learned a little bit more about the Afrobarometer report and where we are with respect to things. Our condolences to the family of Madame Ekua Donkor, and the Ghana Freedom Party has lost a flag bearer. She'll be remembered for her persistence and her determination, and may she rest well. My name is Kafui Day. Still to come, we have a conversation. Well, Nadia Buhari is going to be in the house, so those of you who love the movies, I can hear some wows in the studio. So Nadia is going to be here very soon. And we also have the Manifesto Watch with the running mate of the APC, Reverend Dr. Samuel Wolanyo Mensah, sitting down with Maltiti in a short while. Don't go anywhere. GTV Breakfast. Hashtag Stop Galamsey now.
Hey, wait. You gonna put it on his tab. This is my man. Good luck.
Google Radio. Star 712. I'm on dialing the magic numbers. Star 712. Now welcome to the luckiest. And now with me at home ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved ones.
Mommy, tell mommy who's here.
You're buying for me, right?
Or who else?
Oh.
Let's choose buy tickets for adults.
Love you, boo boo.
No, maybe straight to option 4. You need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or preferred tickets. I'm choosing random tickets. Listen, if you buy the random ticket, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. Now follow the prompts and confirm. Now the luckiest.
The luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. TNCs apply.
I live at Angloga and I had my basic education at Way, a town in the Volta region of Ghana. When I was at JHS, it wasn't easy for me when it comes to my financial aspect because my mom is a seamstress and as well as a trader, and my dad engages in farming activities. But God being so good, the government of Ghana brought up this free SHS policy. So I'm so happy that the government have brought up this policy that is making me also to have access to secondary education. One day I would like to become like the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. That is, I want to become an economist. He is my role model because I believe he has been one of the best economists ever in the world.
Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia, #1 on the ballot.
What's up?
How far with your intention?
To be honest, I'm so nervous about starting this new role on Monday.
Oh, please. I know you'll be great at it. You should be worried about what benefits they have. Example, do they have health insurance?
I doubt they will have that for internet. But no shaking. I have NHIS already.
Auntie and son are lying.
Hey, now, look at you. What are you going to do in the office when you can just download the app to register for an NHIS membership?
Yes, my people. You heard right. You can now download and register your membership on my NHIS app. No long queues or tedious paperwork. All you need is your Ghana card to register for yourself and for others. Once you register, you get a new digital NHIS card on your phone. My NHIS app gives you access to credentialed health facilities and services across the country. NHIS covers over 95% of disease conditions in Ghana. Access to healthcare just got easier.
Now let me sign up quick.
8K. Hey, wait. You gonna put it on his tab. This is my man. Good luck.
Bill Radio, *712. It's much of a phone. I'm on dialing the magic numbers. *712. Now welcome to the luckiest. And now with me at home ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved ones.
Mommy, tell mommy who's here.
You're buying for me, right?
Or who else?
Oh.
Let's choose buy tickets for others.
Love you, boo boo.
No, maybe straight to option 4. You need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or preferred tickets. I'm choosing random ticket. Listen, if you buy the random ticket, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. 5. Now follow the prompts and confirm. Now the luckiest.
The luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years.
So I gotta do what I gotta do. God bless the hustler. Now quadrillion, if I talk, baby, yeah. And by the Mashamo, so the basic. Now me bring your dance and I've been connected with souls. Me the bad human. Now me the basic. Don't say you're the next soul. The basic. If you have a baby, share a baby move and move the fun. She's a cat.
And that's Sika by AEC and Famille Money. L'Are, L'Argent, Kudi. That's the song that we've just brought to you. Beautiful, beautiful music just going by. 39 days, though, to Election Day in December when we go to the polls. December 7, presidents and parliamentary candidates or parliamentary members will be selected on December 7. And so because of that, GTV Breakfast provides a platform every day for candidates to come and their parties to come and tell their policies to you, our viewer at home, so that you make informed choices on December 7 when you go to the polls. I am Altiti Saida Sadiq, and you can send us your questions and your comments on 055-556-1034. On Manifesto Watch this morning, we're bringing you another running mate of one of the parties who is on the ballot. And We're privileged to have Reverend Dr. Wolanyo Mensah. He's the running mate to the APC. Reverend Wolanyo is a lecturer at Wisconsin University. He's an economist and he believes in an all-inclusive government where industrialization, economic prosperity, transformational leadership, accountability and discipline would be a game changer for Ghana. I'll let him tell you more about himself. Reverend, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, and good morning to our cherished viewers and listeners, depending on wherever they are.
Definitely. Good to have you. Let me begin with, tell us about yourself. Where are you from? Where have you been before you surfaced in the political arena?
Well, Reverend Dr. Wolanyo Mensah, I was born in a unique town called Butuku. Butuku is in the North Dine district, close to Pando, in the Volta region. So I started school over there, continue through Ho, that's Yavijogwe, and to Awudome Senior High School, Chito, in the Volta region. From there, proceeded to the then Accra Polytechnic, now Accra Technical University, to pursue HND in accountancy. From there to University of Cape Coast for a bachelor degree in commerce, BCom, and from there to Tech for an MPhil in development economics, back to the University of Ghana for a PhD in development economics and leadership. And so as I was pursuing these courses too, I was also running a professional course. So also I chartered as a chartered economist, and also pursued the theological courses. So I had also master's and a PhD in theology. And I believe that ever since I've been working as a banker and also as an accountant. So I work as an accountant in Crystal Star Ghana Limited. It's an oil inspection company located in Tema. And also Dayless Finance. I work as a banker with Dayless Finance for many years before now currently lecturing in the Wisconsin International University College, Departments of Economics and Development Studies. I'm also the head pastor of Christ White House Chapel. It's a Pentecostal and charismatic church in Ghana, and I'm also the executive director for Center for Greater Impact Africa. It's a governance and economic planning think tank. In 2020, I was also appointed a technical advisor to the Ministry of Trade and Industry on the African Continental Free Trade Area, and just early this year, I was appointed Ghana Country Director for Vision Afrique. Vision Afrique is the NGO under the African Union working for African unity. And so, fundamentally, this Wolanyo Mensah.
The laurels are many.
Exactly.
And the leadership, packages, your background, it's a lot. Is that why you decided to wade into politics? You manage a church as well.
Well, I've been in the system for some time now, engaging in public education. I think even including GTV, I've been an advocate and also a consultant on economic and governance issues for GTV for the past 11 years. And I'm a socialist, I'm an economist, I'm Pan-Africanist, I'm a lawyer. And I believe in the ideology of philosophy and social justice. And so there is the need for us to look at national leadership comprehensively. I don't want to term it as politics, but I want to see it as a national leadership. And being a national leader is a calling. And so I've discovered this calling as early as 12 years, when I was 12 years old.
Right.
And so I continue to champion this, telling my teachers, my mates, that one day I'll become a president, and definitely that will surely happen.
And I'd ask, so you don't buy into the school of thought that say the church and politics shouldn't meddle?
They are all developmental agents. They are all tools to develop a country, and so they all go hand in hand. It's just the misconception and lack of proper understanding. So based on how you do your social engineering, I believe that the church is a development agent. It's a development tool, and vis-a-vis any political leader is also a church member. And so I don't know who brought that kind of philosophy. And so the church is supposed to rather train and mentor people who are supposed to be great leaders in our country. And so I don't see the reason why people should shy away because they belongs to a particular religious affiliations. In Islam, that is not an issue, but in Christianity, Christians always shied away from taking a national leadership position, but we are all quick to invite national leaders to our functions as chairman.
Maybe it's the objectivity, wouldn't you say that?
Probably the application of the gospel has been wrongly done, and so everybody tries to interpret the gospel depending on how you understand. But the bottom line is that the good news must be to the betterment of your country and your citizens.
Right. Since that's out of the way, and we've gotten to know you much more, how did you went as an independent candidate?
Exactly. For the past 3 to 4 years now, I've been working seriously to bring technocrats together, because what I've seen is that people who are technocrats, who have really great ideas, who are great leaders, are looking at the stereotyping as far as politics is concerned, name calling and people tagging others, and character and person assassinations. And so people who have really succeeded in their small way wanted to stay in their corner and enjoy their wealth. And so the country is just being left for crooks and drug addicts.
The current
exactly. We've seen much more of people who really needs to go into national leadership are sitting on the fence, whilst those who have less to offer have rather occupied the leadership space. And that is a cause for concern.
Why are they sitting on the fence, though?
I think, as I outlined earlier, I think depending on the media polarization, because we have not been able to sanitize the media fraternity well, so looking at political challenges, so people are able to use the media platforms to attack political opponents. So people who really want to have their peace of mind don't want to mind anything about national leadership. But if we are all sick, we all rush to hospital. But when society is sick, who is a physician?
Under you, how is the media going to be run, since you're talking about media?
Well, we equally need to educate the media that the media must be very circumspect in their utterances and their reportage. And the media must be more focused on developmental issues rather than pertinent partisan issues. Until then, I believe that we will not be able to see any headway. Because if you look at what is happening currently in Ghana, I believe the politics is becoming a business. And businessmen are also financing the two leading political parties, the NDC and NPP. And so not necessarily that anybody really cares about Ghana, and we are much more interested in policies and programs. And if you hear NDC NPP, you will not hear anything much concrete that will really help us to transform this country. It's not because I'm also a stakeholder in the elections, but this continues to beat my imaginations, that we are not focusing on issues, but we are rather focusing on character assassination. And so there is the need for some of us to also enter the industry and be able to make an impact before we depart.
I'll come to you on the change of mindset that I see in your policy, since you're talking about sensitization and, re-educating the media about the core mandate of development instead of partisan politics and character assassinations. But I was asking earlier on about why you decided to...
Well, as I indicated, about 4 years ago, I developed these ambitions to be the next president of this country. And I started bringing a lot of technocrats on board. In the eve to the filing, we've realized that leadership must be a consensus building. It must be a teamwork. It must go with tenacity. And so I believe the smaller parties should have rather come together to form an alternative force, not necessarily a third force, an alternative force. The alternative is more important than just a third force. Alternative will be bringing new dimensions as to how development should be conceived. And I sold those ideas to most of the smaller political parties. But at the end of the day, we were looking at two things as a yardstick: personality and the party as a policy. And so we came to this conclusion that the APC equally have policies and programs that will really help to develop this country. And the leader, then that's Dr. Hassan Ayariga, is equally people-centered and somebody who is willing to see the welfare of the Ghanaian citizens. And I think these two major dimensions have drawn us closer to them. And he made a proposal that even if he doesn't care just to be maybe a player or a watchman, but we still insist that no, he's a senior man in the industry, he had a lot of experiences, and he's also an elder brother. And so definitely,
right.
we've gone into alliance with him. And my political movement is the Great Alliance Ghana and the New Nkrumah's Revolutionary Movement.
Okay.
And so we are more of a professional entities than just normal human beings.
He's gone at the presidency for a while. What do you think joining him or partnering with him will mean for this election?
Well, my main focus are our policies that will help develop this country rather than looking at just the personality and how popular the person has been according to the media fraternity. And people also want to judge from the public, a court of public opinion, and which doesn't really help. I think in the past elections, the APC couldn't galvanize much more votes simply because NDC MPP succeeded in running their visions down. Because even if you look at the 24-hour economy agenda that the John Mahama and the NDC champions, it's very laudable. But this is what they have dubbed from the APC. So APC have,
according to your presidential candidate,
APC have this in their 2016 and 2020 manifesto. And so, but they are all very laudable policies. So, in other developed countries, we don't look at who is going to roll out the policy. We are looking at who is going to re-engineer the policy. Okay. And so sometimes the smaller parties really helps in governance because they develop the policies and programs, but at the end of the day, the bigger parties overshadow them, takes their policies and roll it out as theirs. But interestingly, once it's a policy that will help this country, it shouldn't be an issue that we need to be dragging.
Okay, I'll come to you on how you intend to, end that toppling over smaller parties by the bigger parties. We're speaking to the running mates of the All People's Congress, Reverend Wolanyo. We'll take a break. We're back with more on Manifesto Watch. Welcome back. This is Manifesto Watch on GTV Breakfast, and we're sitting with the running mates of the All People's Congress, the APC, and we're talking about the policy direction that they intend to bring once voted into power in 2025. That's in the December polls, and then the lead up to governance in 2025. Reverend Wolanyo is our guest this morning. Rev, let me come to you. Said your focus is on policies. What aspects of the APC's governance would you be handling? Are you going to be the economic management, lead of the economic management team, as some have been seen to?
Exactly. There's no deniable fact that I'll be the head of the economic management team, and I think that will be my major priority because I think the economy of Ghana is not managed well, and both NDC and MPP, I still want to even engage them so that we see the way forward because the policies and programs will not really help in the long term as we try to develop this country. Most of the policies I've seen NDC and MPP rolling out are only policies that will help in a short and a medium term, not in a long term. But any country that fails to have a long-term development plan will make its citizens suffer. Now coming back to the issue of policies, I believe the APC we developed this country in 7 thematic areas.
Okay.
One has to do with nationalization, domestication, industrialization, commercialization, modernization, and globalization. And I think that these are strong pillars for which we can develop a country. The 2 leading parties are not seeing it like that. And bringing a new dimensions as to how the country Ghana should be developed. And we also look at the salary structure. We realize that the Ghanaian workers are suffering. And so workers sitting for 30 good days before getting some small salary. I don't think that if we continue treating Ghanaian workers like that, we can get the best out of them.
Okay.
So there is a need for us to introduce a bi-weekly salary structure where each and every Ghanaian will be paid every 2 weeks. And that will also call for us to review the single spine salary structure.
The minimum wage,
Exactly.
is 18 Ghana cedis, 18 pesos.
Exactly.
That for you is not enough?
No, not at all, because any worker in Ghana that takes home less than 3,000 Ghana cedis is definitely suffering. And so there is a need for us to look at the minimum wage. And Dr. Hassan Ayariga proposes 150 Ghana cedis minimum wage. We're looking at least minimum 100 cedis for a start, and so that nobody takes home less than 3,000 a month. And so at least every 2 weeks, the least is able to take 1,500 home. And I believe that that will really help us to be able to improve upon the living standard of ordinary Ghanaians.
Why do you think previous governments or even the current government has not been able to increase the minimum wage?
Well, politicians generally don't want to see the betterments of the citizens, because they believe if they empower the citizens are rich and well-to-do, they will challenge them.
You think it's not because we don't have the capacity?
No. Wastages in the system alone, the money that we spend on politicians alone is so high. The monies that we misappropriated, misapplied, and mismanaged, if you take the Auditor General's report alone, monies that have been misappropriated is more than what we are seeking from IMF. So it doesn't make sense for our leaders to continue disgracing us, begging, cap in hand, looking for small coins, instead of for us to be able to develop the capacities of the various anti-corruption agencies and be able to give more powers the Auditor General's Department to surcharge people who have misappropriated and misapplied and mismanaged state funds and resources. Surcharge and be able to recoup these monies into the consolidated fund. We use these monies to develop this country. So I believe that the economic engineering, the social engineering are not really working better for us. So there is the need for us to look at it proactively from the angle that we need to improve upon the economies of scale.
When you take over, Ghana will still have had the debt of over 700 billion Ghana cedis.
Around 761 billion Ghana cedis currently.
Right. You have to deal with that before all of this salary structure is improved and all of that. How they intend to service this debt and not go back to the IMF and the World Bank, the Bretton Woods institutions.
It's so interesting. It sounds like a complex issue, but the answer is simple. What we wanted to do is, number one, the first 100 days, be able to establish an anti-corruption task force that will coordinate the works of all the anti-corruption institutions.
The first 100 days.
Exactly. We establish an anti-corruption task force. And this task force will have the responsibility, the mandate, the responsibility to coordinate the activities of the anti-corruption institutions, like the EOCO, like the SRAJ, Attorney General's Department, the State Attorney, Special Prosecutor, Police CID Unit, Controller and Accountant General Department, the Auditor General's Department. We realize that monies have been misappropriated, misapplied, misused. Monies that have been embezzled, monies that are meant for state agenda has gone into individual pockets. And looking at the Auditor General's report alone, we are going to set up a new commission, and this commission, vis-a-vis the anti-corruption task force, we are going to re-audit and re-investigate every major government project and programs for the past 20 years. We realize that monies that have been misappropriated will be recouped for the state use. That is one. Two, then we're also looking at how we can generate revenue domestically. And so I'm looking at the property rates, because there is already high taxes already on Ghanaians, and we are working seriously to even reduce taxes because the cost of doing business is so high. Even cost of data is so high. Utilities are so high. Water bill, electricity bills are so high. We continue increasing fuel every day, and that invariably affects the cost of living. Because once you increase fuel, you increase transportation, and transportation have multiplying effects on consumption. So definitely we need to look at that, and we believe that 2 years into our regime, into our office, we will not increase fuel. Government must subsidize fuel, and we can do that by developing the capacities of the oil refinery and also building a new refinery at the Takoradi Enclave. Once we are able to process and refine about 70% of our domestic oil, definitely we should be able to purchase petrochemical products at a low cost.
Reverend Wolanyo, when you say it this way and it sounds that easy, why is that not happening? 2 years, within the first 2 years?
I wrote to this current government and even the past government, I think John Mahama's time, that was 2016. I wrote to the presidency. I don't know whether it was given priority attention, but I have wonderful policies that could have changed this country. And this current administration too, I've been engaged by even Ghana News Agency almost twice a week and on governance issues, so that government should be able to take these proactive steps in changing the narratives. But I'm not seeing much, even though there are times that I've seen government heeding to my calls and other directives. But largely, I think government roll out political programs rather than economic programs. So most of the programs that we've seen are political programs. They are only meant to influence society and influence voting patterns. So the concentration is much more on the next election rather than the next generation. And so we're looking at how to generate revenue domestically. So I think Prof. Mills equally had an idea of that internal generated fund. So what I wanted to do is to revise the property tax. This property tax I'm taking into account only land and building. And so you can imagine that from Dawenya Enclave to Tema to Accra to Kaswa to Dodowa Enclaves, let's call that Accra. If assuming that everybody who have a parcel of land pays 20 Ghana cedis, not 200 cedis, 20 Ghana cedis as a service fee to the state every year, you can just imagine how much the state is going to recoup. I think that we will start beginning to even loan financial resources to other African countries.
What's our current property tax rate system?
Well, you realize that our economy is much more of an informal sector, and the informal sector contributes about 70% to our local economic development. That is why we need the digitization. And so we need the digitization to be able to reprofile the country, to really know each Ghanaian where they live, where they stay, what they do for a living, and be able to bring them on board for them to contribute their quota for national development. So until we have been able to develop a strong national database, that is what even the APC is going to do with the nationalization. We have a strong national database, and that is why in areas, practically in areas, sometimes you see Dumso or you'll be at home and there is low current. Low current simply means that the number of people that particular grade is supposed to feed, the people are more. And so what that means is that those who have provided these services, if it's electricity, they have no data as to the number of people living in that area. So it's only power that they are extending to that particular area, not taking into account the number, the population size. Right. And so if you are able to develop a strong database vis-a-vis population, then that will help us in national planning.
Right.
And so we should be able to leverage on that and be able to develop a strong local engineering revenue development tool. And I think that exactly that is what we are going to do. And those who have buildings who also pay like 50 Ghana cedis a year to the state for service fee. And I believe that if we are able to roll out these two policies, land and building, I'm telling you that African countries, other African countries will be coming to Ghana for credit facilities.
I'll come to you on how you intend to deal with corruption, even though you have mentioned some of the institutions, the anti-corruption institutions that you would boost, because with this property rate you're talking about, Ghanaians would want to know where their money is going to and how it will be used, because, you know, they've heard of procurement breaches and the corruption.
Exactly. When you look at the procurement processes and procedures, it's very volatile. And I believe that most people tries to shortchange the country using procurement processes and procedures. Cost of contracts have been overbloated, and I believe that we are doing a great disservice to ourselves. So we look at the procurement processes and procedures and ensure that costs that are associated with projects are duly merit. That what we are seeing currently is that costs have been inflated, and that money that's supposed to go into 3 different projects are going into one. Even that one is done shoddily. And I believe that we really need to put a very strong monitoring evaluation team together that will really help us to have value for money as far as our project and contract are concerned.
Okay, since you're going there, let me just add the corruption. And if Ghana loses $2.6 trillion to corruption annually, so if you catch or grab an official from the All People's Congress in government who has money or who, you know, has been caught with corrupt money, bribery, what happens to them?
Government, I believe the interesting thing about leadership is that you hire and fire.
Okay.
Those are who steals from public purse, public office, and who shortchange Ghanaians. You must not even allow them one single day to remain in office. You need to sack them.
That's how you're going to...
Exactly, and those who have been cited for bribery and corrupt practices will be allowed to face the full rigors of the law. Prosecute them and jail them and recoup all... If they use the money to buy properties, sell these properties and use it to develop this country. It's as simple as that. So nobody will be allowed to really manipulate the system under our watch, and especially myself as the leader of economic management team. I am not, because Constitution has already provided conditions for which the president and the vice and a few leaders should be catered for. So why do you steal? Because definitely if I leave office, the government is going to take very good care of me. Yeah, so why won't I do my best? I don't know why people are too materialistic. The material things, where are we taking them to? So that is why we need a God-fearing who is also having the capacity, competence, care, and ability to be able to deliver.
Okay. Let me bring your attention to energy. You mentioned electricity early on and population size, and, you know, the scandals we've had around power providers, hydropower providers, the PDS, the Emery, Carship, and all of that. What is our energy sector going to look like with how rural electrification still even is a problem? And electricity seems to be the driving engine of industrialization.
Well, I don't know what is wrong with our leaders, including myself. And because if you look at investment, either local investment or foreign direct investment, we're looking at avenues and where we have markets. So I was thinking that even Ghana could have been able to invest more into the energy sector, because we all need power. We are now the headquarters of the African Continental Free Trade, and we are trying to attract a lot of foreign direct investment into this country. But which investor want to invest in a country where there is no power, a stable power supply? And so there is the need for us to invest into power supply. So what we wanted to do is to at least build 2 additional hydroelectric dams.
Okay.
Apart from what, exactly, before the river water gets into the sea, we wanted to build 2 additional dams. And I believe that will also help us. And government must also try as much as possible to pay the other power supply. Like, for instance, there is a tango between government and the Sona Asogli recently. government should be able to pay them and stop playing politics, because politics will not help us. It will affect businesses. Businesses can collapse. Businesses can face redundancy, and once there is redundancy, means that unemployment rate will be going higher. Once unemployment rate is going higher, crime rates will also go high, because definitely people must survive. The government now needs to find resources to support security agencies to be able to fight crime. It doesn't make sense. So let's be able to invest into the energy sector. Let's see it as an investment. Let's produce more power and be able to sell this power to even neighboring countries like Togo, Benin, Nigeria, Liberia, Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and all this.
Have you thought of exploring other power sources like solar, nuclear energy?
Exactly, there are many dimensions, and I believe that the solar and the nuclear are equally alternative, and I believe that the school of atomic energy is equally doing quite well. So we want to go into some level of partnership, and we want to establish industrial colleges. It's part of our program to establish industrial colleges, and these industrial colleges, practically, we are going to go into partnership with institutions like Katanka, Aposafo Katanka, and be able to replicate what is doing in all the 16 administrative regions of this country, and be able to reprofile, so that we wanted to start training the young ones from their infancy. So we have industrial colleges, and you can finish this kindergarten and go to industrial college and start class 1 over there. And so by the time you finish the junior high school, you are a complete engineer. Something happens just a Friday, just the past Friday, I think 4 days ago. I was invited as a guest speaker to a program at the Movenpick Ambassador Hotel. And so on my way, I've invited some few friends. One too is a professor of engineering. And so on his way, his car broke down. And so because of that, he couldn't make it to the program. By the time the car was fixed, it was too late. But something happens, and I was wondering what we can do about that. This is a professor of engineering and mechanical engineering, and his car broke down, and he was looking for a mechanic or a short fitter.
He's a mechanical engineer.
Yeah, so he was looking for a fitter or a mechanic to come and fix his car, because he couldn't even identify the problems properly. And so they went around, according to they went around looking for a mechanic, and finally they got one young boy who said that his master is not in the shop. So he decided to come and look at the car and examine the car. And he's just 16 years, and he only went to class 1. He couldn't even continue from class 2. He was able to fix the car for the professor of mechanical engineering. So in this case, I asked, who had a real education? Is it the professor or the one who went to the mechanical training? So I believe that the small boy, the young guy, who is not even mature to even vote, to decide who should be a leader, had the best form of education. So that is why we want to champion technical vocational education.
TVET.
I realize that if really Africa wants to mitigate development, then there is a need for us to develop the local economy. And developing the local economy, we need to develop the local manufacturing hub.
So you're tying TVET to the industrial colleges, skills development.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right.
So I believe that because nobody goes to the technical schools, come back and looking for jobs. They create their own jobs. The same model that Germany, Japan, Tokyo, and all others, they used. The same model that China is using. And if Ghana really wants to develop more faster than what we are seeing now and create more jobs, then there is a need for us to take TVET as the best form of education, not the grammar education.
You're watching Manifesto Watch. My guest today is Reverend Dr. Walanyo Mensah. He's the running mate of the All People's Congress, APC. And we've talked about industrialization and education, because Doc is just talking about tying TVET into what they intend to build called industrial colleges, skills development, and then boosting the local economy. We've also talked about the economic system, how to boost Ghana's economy with property rates and taxes, and servicing Ghana's debts, anti-corruption agencies that they will be bolstering to ensure that there's no procurement breaches and bribery scandals, corruption. We've talked about the energy sector for a bit as well, and how they intend to build some more dams to augment the dams, already existing dams like the Akosombo Dam, for more hydropower. He's saying that population size has a lot to do with that. Send us your comments, your questions on 055-556-1034, alternatively on GTV Ghana. We're streaming live there. Doc, you were talking about jobs just before, I went up. So let me come back to that. And since you're the man at AFCFTA, and you're talking about boosting the local economy, a lot of young people are told to start up their own businesses. The cost of registering a business, the time of getting it registered, how to get grants to run the business, the whole ecosystem of letting a business survive, exporting, as the AFCFTA would be, promoting.
Well, I think Africa could have used the African Continental Free Trade to develop the continent. But then I believe we are electing or selecting wrong leaders. And so leaders who are championing their parochial interests, their party interests above national interests. And even you can see it in Ghana. Both NDC and NPP champions prioritize the party's welfare than the state welfare, forgetting that their party members are also part of the state. And so at the end of the day, we can leverage on the African Continental Free Trade, looking at the protocols and the treaties. And when some of us were technical advisors to Ministry of Trade and Industry in 2020, that's the post-COVID, we made it clear to them that no, what we need to do now is to develop the local entrepreneurs. There are Ghanaians who are already producing something. We need to really empower them. But we are faced with some challenges. One has to do with credit facility, availability of credit. It's not that the banks have shortage of liquidity, but the sad news is that the government of Ghana is also equally borrowing from these commercial banks, making it very difficult for the private sector to have its way. So I encourage government of Ghana to stop borrowing from domestic market. Because once government does that, then you denied your indigenes, your locals, your nationals from having access to credit facilities from these banks. And so if government stops that, then it's really going to create the enabling platforms for the potential entrepreneurs within the local economy to be able to access credit and be able to expand their businesses. Then government must also act as a surety for these businesses so that we can also project them and put them out for showcasing. And I believe what government must also do now is that where we have embassies in African countries, we need to set up a new department called Marketing, Innovation and Research. And this marketing, innovation and research must focus on the demands, the market demands of those countries, where those demands in terms of the product that they needed, we can produce them in Ghana or we are already producing them. Okay. Then we identify a market and we give a signals to the local economy for our entrepreneurs to produce to meet those market demands. So until we are able to do that, we'll continue only producing for this country. And if people are not prioritizing whatever you are doing or patronizing whatever you are doing, definitely your business will collapse.
How will they deal with electricity costs? How will they deal with space, housing deficits, rental costs, raw materials, and then even the influx of foreign items competing with their...
Well, we have a comparative advantage, an absolute advantage. And so there are areas, there are products that we can produce in Ghana There are some products we can produce in Ghana. So those that we can produce in Ghana, government must issue out an administrative policies, an administrative order, and so that we reduce the importations of those commodities drastically, and so that we'll be able to enable the local producers to be able to produce more. And if government fails to subsidize their utilities, then definitely the unit cost of production will go high. And that will also affect the selling price of the commodity and invariably affect the cost of living. So to us, we believe that government should be able to give some tax rebates 2 to 3 years to every Ghanaian business that have started producing something. 3 years, free electricity and free water.
3 years.
Exactly.
Free electricity and free water.
For 3 good years before the companies start paying taxes. Now, at the time that government is giving out the free electricity and water, government might seem to be losing a revenue. But the long effect is that once the company is able to stand and is producing on large scales, definitely it creates more jobs. Government also rake in more revenue. And I believe that government use those resources to develop the country.
Okay, and so that's how you hope to empower the over 500,000 unemployed youth.
Exactly.
By creating more jobs.
Exactly, and job creations, I think we have more policies in terms of businesses and agro-processes. We also want to expand the pharmaceutical industry, developing the local technologies, developing the petrochemical economy, and also developing the digital space for us to be able to leverage on that. Even we are looking at the Farmers' Day celebration, where we used to reward farmers with colors and hoes. We believe that we can use the Farmers' Day celebration as a catalyst to develop this country. Have it in 3 thematic areas: district level, regional level, and national level. And so that those who excel at the district level in any particular product, which government should be able to give them 300,000 Ghana cedis, expect them equipments and the resources so that they multiply their farms times 3. The same things happens at the regional and the national level. I believe that within the shortest possible time, we change this country from a third world country into a first-class country.
Amazing. So we have had an expanse of a conversation. Dr. Wolanyo just landing on the agribusiness approach and bolstering farmers in the country. We've talked about education and tying it with industrialization, TVET, industrial colleges, AFCFT, and how Ghana can take advantage of that. He's talked about, the economy, corruption, debt servicing, housing, property rates as well. That's how we draw the curtain on this segment on Manifesto Watch. Today, I am Altiti Saida Sadek, and I've been speaking to Dr. Wolanyo Mensah. He's a running mate of the All People's Congress, that's the APC. Join us again tomorrow when we bring you another candidate on Manifesto Watch. There's more though on GTV Breakfast. Stay with us.
Mama, stop worrying. How is Kobna? I got some of his medication. His friends are raising funds to support us.
The kidney disease has taken the toll. But my son and our finances.
Mama, there is hope. The pharmacist told me about Mahama's policies on chronic diseases. John Mahama is going to establish the Mahama Cares Fund to support Ghanaians with kidney diseases, sickle cell, cancer, diabetes, hypertension, and other heart conditions to support and ease the financial burden on families like ours. Mama, but that is not all. Ghanaians can access free health care when they go to the CHIPS compound. Mama, wipe your tears. Wipe your tears. Mahama cares.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
I dey fear for this year's election. I hear say EC fit print extra ballot papers for back.
You and your filler, where did you hear all these things from?
How does the EC print these ballot papers? Process na friction there.
My friends, what brings you here this time? Today too, we get some questions about the election, so your man come again with another hearsay. No problem at all. Let's sit outside.
I wonder how they print the ballot papers. I hear say EC, they fit print some ballot papers secretly.
Let me break it down for you. Ghana is one of the few countries where the Electoral Commission prints ballot papers within the country. For real? So
how do you ensure it is fair and transparent?
Political party representatives, the police service, and the National Intelligence Bureau all observe the printing and packing of the ballot papers. Serial numbers are fake. Party agents record serial numbers for each region, district, constituency, and polling station.
It is How do we know?
In fact, there is 24-hour observation. From printing to armory to polling station, everything is closely monitored. At each station, we account for every ballot. I mean, total ballots, issued ballots, unused ballots, and even spoiled ballots. There is no room. Extra one, this
one be serious work.
But that is how we ensure that the election is as transparent as pure water.
Now we know the truth.
Therefore, when the ballot papers are packaged, every political party has their seal on it. Look, the process is monitored all the way. It is Frenchim. Everybody make Memfajan to move.
Fear the Oman Kakawa Bahuatia. Tuanabetumo. Mubaya Mamusa Kakawa and Aston Bukrewa from her. Some of Hersham. Minia, this one coming what?
Buying 20 disinfectant, buying stain remover, and so on. You were buying liquid soap, buying zone power bleach. And the Kaka Humbe Bray was a few hospitals, schools, canteens, warehouse, factories, and no beer a was so use.
0243 10 48 83 and then 0541 80 80 96.
FDIG didn't crash here.
8K. Hey, wait.
You can put it on his tab. This is my man. Good luck.
Mobile radio. We have star 712. I'm on dialing the magic numbers. Star 712. Now welcome to the luckiest. And now with me at home ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved one.
Mommy, tell mommy who's here.
You're buying for me, right?
Or who else?
Oh.
Let's choose buy tickets for others.
Love you, boo boo.
No, maybe straight to option 4. Now we try. You need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or preferred tickets. I'm choosing random tickets. Listen, if you buy the random tickets, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. 5. Now follow the prompt and confirm. Now the luckiest.
The luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. TNCs apply.
Oh, Ajia.
Abba. My sister, no watch it today. Where is Ajia?
Hospital. They tested her and found out she has malaria.
Again?
Yes. The mosquitoes are too many in this area.
Why? Don't you people sleep under insecticide-treated nets?
I don't do. Because I don't feel comfortable sleeping under it. Even the one I had, I gave it to my parents.
Abba, the treated net really works. This is good news.
That's it. Follow the above process of caring for insecticide-treated net and sleep under it to prevent malaria. The heat is mostly from your room. Either air doesn't come in or your windows are too small or closed. Allow enough air into your room to reduce the heat.
Hey, Ajia, customer. I am so glad you're back. How are you feeling now?
I have suffered. What malaria did to me, we should all do our best to prevent it for our own good life. Now, I sleep under the new insecticide-treated net I have. It is strong, it does not tear easily, and it works the same way.
It's true. As for the pregnant women, the new treated net is given to us for free at the health centers.
Let's all come on board Good Life to eliminate malaria now.
Good Life, live it well. It's an everyday thing. This message is brought to you by the Ghana Health Service and partners with support from USAID and the U.S. President's Malaria Initiative.
Relax,
Hey, bra, me say, care plus I'm about to see. And me, no, and I'm about to swim. Me say, you know, you coffee.
Also, to coffee. Oh, I care for you.
How you friend? Oh, I care plus for you, eh? Dana Betty. Minia, make campo care plus. Mosquito spray, edit on and make campo on a quay, answer the mouth. Wait. Healing is lovely.
Leave the room for 15 minutes after spraying and don't sleep in the room with the burning coil. FDA
Navrongo Senior High School, Navasco, invites you to its annual general meeting and speech and prize giving day celebration. Theme: discipline, a prerequisite for transformational education and leadership. Date: 1st to 2nd November 2024. Activities: arrival of Nabia will be 31st October per East Regional Minister. Navasco, we are gathered from farmlands and forests and towns. We are one family. Oh yes, Nabia, we shine globally. See you there.
When we they are all the same.
Oh, me I fear about to angasa my madrin cemento.
Menkasada. I didn't want to aba.
Omunyina ya trofo.
Uti your parties nina. Do this is your papa and also dineti. Papa we.
Medindi Kofi Afan. I'm the leader and founder of the Liberal Party LPG.
Ono
said the imam ma ewa bochire. Sana be yamom akula bi ebituaneka. Bosum bi 500 Ghana cedis.
See wakra and there. Kopim 8.
Omo nya eduma. If you do watch eko nkokora na mmewa so ebetua omo ka 700 cedis.
We bill from 18 years I won eduma no betua ne ka 700 Ghana cedis. Let you tell me some kra na say
university so be free.
We are go school free. Me I vote for number 5.
Madam, I feel 2024 election week. Meto abane dia ma LPG. Mami posters ni bi. Na me muam nyenye campaign.
O hwe krata na de to abana be number 5. Me na me to so bi. Ma share so de no e ansoma. To abana mami na to mami ya me de ose e yo yo.
Kofi akalu onu na ako.
The hashtag is Stop Galamsey Now. And we're back. We're wrapping up the breakfast show. No doubt that Ghanaian cinema has seen a revival recently, with actors and actresses playing a vital role, especially with directors, directing them to ensure their characters come to life. With me in the studio this morning is Jamel Boari, who is a director for Forever and a Night. Jamel, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
With the whole Stevie Wonder vibe and everything going on.
We had to represent for, the brand.
Of course. So Fred, good morning. You're also welcome. Yeah, I love the beard. I also give you Rick Ross. And seated right next to Fred and seated right next to me is someone who is a child of destiny. Yes. Some might say she's Destiny's child, because the very first movie role that shot her to fame was called Beyonce, the President's Daughter. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been joined by Nadia Boari.
Yay!
Good morning, and you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're looking lovely and ethereal as usual.
Thank you.
Yes. Before you came into the studio, I was reading a lot of articles about you, and then most of them were saying you took a hiatus and you're making a comeback. Do you agree with that?
So the hiatus would be maybe I would go on a little break to have a baby and then come back. But there wasn't really much of a hiatus, no. It was, I was still filming. I was, even while pregnant, I was still filming. I never really took a break, like a really long break. Yes, maybe the break would probably be from NSB Studios, because from my studio, this would be team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that probably would be the reason.
Yeah, we are making babies in a lot of ways. There's production, and then there's of course another production.
Yes, yes.
You've played a variety of roles over the years. Was there anything particularly challenging about this role that made you question it, or perhaps your character in it, your role in it?
So my role was, it wasn't really challenging, I must say. But what was challenging was filming it. Because the movie Forever in a Night, obviously, it was Forever in a Night. So the movie, 95% of the movie was shot in the evening. And because I'm a very hands-on and present mom, when we're filming, we start filming maybe around 5 or 6 just to get the night feel, and then we wrap up like around maybe 5 a.m. and then I have to go home and try to get my kids ready for school, and then when I drop them off at school, I'm back and I only have a little window to take a break, to rest, and then when I'm up, I have to go and get them from school, bring them back, and then go back to work. So that was my life for maybe almost a month. And that was really challenging.
Yeah, but some people argue that it's not really challenging when you're doing something you love.
Of course not. But the challenge, of course, I mean, it's tedious. Yes, but when you love something, when you're doing something you love, it's like a walk in the park. It's easy peasy, but of course I'm a human being. I would get exhausted at some point.
It wasn't easy peasy. There were times when she'd be sleeping.
Yes, I remember in the club scene, we're filming in the club, and I literally conked out. I literally dropped asleep.
I know, right?
And Jay came.
Yeah, sometimes I'd go action, and she's like, and I'm like, action. She's like,
actually, she's inanimated. Like, what's going on?
Being like embodying the character, no, not at all.
Yeah, that one was fine.
That one was very so clearly. I mean, it would be second nature to me if I was playing that character.
You know, some would argue you shouldn't. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe.
That's true. That's true. But you also know that people fall in love at hello. Sometimes you just say hello and then So if you're a sucker for love, you'd understand.
Oh, I understand. I've already fallen in love. So, Fred, you're also one of the actors on this project. Yes. Initially, what were your thoughts about the role? And now that the whole thing is done, how do you feel now?
Initially, I was very nervous because it's actually my debut.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how was it feeling like? You were nervous?
I was nervous.
One of the greats, Nadia. Yeah. I know I'm giving you more pressure, but please. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was very nervous, and Jay and Nadia were they were tremendous help. So they made it easier for me to do what I had. I was very nervous.
Really nervous. But like he said, we tried to make it very easy for him because we had like 2 weeks of a read, 2 weeks of rehearsals, just so we can really familiarize, with the character and
Now I want to know what that first scene was.
I think it was an
intimate scene. Right? That's why.
Okay, so let me just move on to Jamal now.
Yes,
I won't go back to that one. Don't worry about it. Jamal, so your initial vision for the film, and then how it ended up. How did it evolve from what you thought was in your mind to actually bringing it to life with your actors?
Oh man, it's to me it's a masterpiece. So like Nadia said, it started as a dream. Nadia called me, said, Jay, I have this idea and I need you to come to my house right now. And I was like, okay, sure. So I went to visit her and she told me about it. She gave me the summary of the movie. It was beautiful. And then, to bring it to life was just awesome. Like, I mean, it was tedious though, because we had to shoot the whole thing in a night, but it was just awesome to bring the dream into reality. And watching it now, it just...
I mean, you wrote the movie.
So
it was a collaborative effort.
Yes.
It was a collaborative effort.
It was a collaborative effort. Okay, so for now, we're going to take a trailer of the movie and we'll return to the studios.
I can't wait to call you my wife officially. Will you marry me? I decided to go on ahead and set the wedding date in 3 weeks.
I'm so bored. We should be celebrating, Nana. We're about to get married, though. Why don't we have an early bachelorette this weekend?
Okay, bitches, let's party.
You only find your soulmate once in a lifetime.
Love, come closer, 'cause I want your heart next to me.
You sure you didn't do right?
I had the best time of my life ever.
Wow, clap for yourself. Can we like go somewhere, you and I, tonight?
We're Hanson, okay?
Into the future with you. Wait! The 26th of March will be remembered for another thing.
You guys start doing a bachelorette this coming Friday.
Something is happening. Woohoo! Oh my goodness!
Is this the story you want to remain permanent for the rest of your life? Shall we?
Sure.
I saw someone who is up and running. Yes, in the trailer over there. And I have to ask, what do you tell people when they ask you Stonebwoy will be at the premiere?
They should come and find out.
Exactly. That's it. They should come and find out.
Stonebwoy honestly has a surprise for everybody, so come and see what what he did in the movie.
Oh, okay. What's the name of your character in the movie?
Irabna Sangari.
Irabna. So is there a personal connection with the character, or she's totally different from you?
With maybe her character traits, she's very quiet, very reserved. She doesn't really like to party, and she's she likes love. She loves love.
Well, that sounds like you in there, and I saw Fred. So who is a significant? Okay, you know what? No spoilers.
Yeah.
No spoilers. But I don't know. Is this your second time working with Godwin? The last time I saw you, it was a lockdown series.
Yes, 21 days.
Yeah, 21.
Yes. This is my second movie with Godwin.
Oh, okay.
Such a fantastic actor.
Oh yeah, he is. He is. Yeah, he's one of the best. Yeah.
Yes.
I remember back in school on campus, School of Performing Arts. Yes, we used to go on stage together.
Oh, you were in School of Performing Arts.
Really? Low key. So, Fred.
We should probably be interviewing you. What happened to that?
No, I still do it. A lot of stage.
Okay, so
really?
you do?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
But it's not about me.
Okay.
This interview is not forever. We can't have forever in the day, forever in the night. So yes, we'll have all that later. Yes.
Sure.
So
I'd like
Fred.
to know some of the stage productions.
I know.
Yeah.
There's one in November. So
okay. We'll go and see
you will
it.
not distract me. You will not Fred. I wanted to ask you for the longest time, but they keep distracting me. Anyway, so what are some of the unique dynamics between your character and Nadia's that audiences should be looking forward to? Like your interactions with their characters, like is there any particular scenes or something like you want audience to look forward to when they come and watch the movie?
Every scene. You know, because it's just like an everyday thing, and I think it happens in a lot of relationships as well. You know, you're with a busy man, he's a workaholic, always working, he doesn't really have time.
So it's
I'm just saying,
without giving too much, you know, it's based on the reality of life.
Exactly.
Where there are choices to be made. And, you know, one choice or any choice she makes could be very detrimental to her as a person and her family. So that's where we can leave it at the moment.
You know how they say when you're in love, it feels like a dream and you never want to wake up, but of course you wake up and reality hits you. That's what the movie is about.
I don't know if I can move on from that. That's quite a succinct way to put it. Yes. So, Fred, what's one thing you admire about Nadia working with her? Did she do anything on set that perhaps made you laugh or something? What was one? How would you describe the experience?
You know, when people see her from afar, they think she's, you know, this ladylike, but she's actually a comedian, you know.
Yes, goofy. That's what I keep saying,
goofy.
but nobody believes me. I keep saying it. Nobody believes me. Very goofy, yeah.
She's very, very goofy.
Yeah, but a lot of people will swear that she's very to herself.
You know,
she doesn't talk much and all, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, they don't know her.
Yeah.
Wait, so for Jamel, were there any unexpected challenges while you were filming? Perhaps you were there and then Doomsaw happened.
Too many. Definitely.
And you had to shoot in the night as well. So what were some of the unique challenges you faced while on set?
I think there was a Doomsaw situation, and sometimes too, I think like the club scene, the one you saw, everybody was tired.
The way Fred signed.
Yes.
I mean, I wasn't even part of the scene, but
it was a tough
tired.
one because, you know, with a club, you need the crowd. Yeah. And, you know, because everyone was tired, you have to direct everybody and then put them back, make them active again. So
we shot like around at 3 a.m.
Yeah, we were done. You know, most of the scenes we shot, it was actually becoming morning.
Overnight. You know how a lot of times you're like, okay, please let's not lose the day. This particular movie,
this time around,
it was like, we don't want to lose the night.
Because the director saying a lot, we are losing the
This one, it was we were losing night.
Yeah, we were losing night to light.
And it was just one scene. So we had to go back to redo
again.
the whole thing.
Immediately we start hearing the birds chirp.
That's it.
Then we know, we're screwed.
Yeah, that must have been annoying.
Yeah, so imagine me going, stop, don't chirp, stop, you know, because we just wanted to finish the scene.
It's not even possible. So now we are going to details for the movie, when it's premiering and everything. Who wants to share the details with us?
I can share.
Okay.
So it's actually premiering.
I was going to give Fred the honor.
Okay.
We're premiering at the Silverbird Cinemas on the 9th of November, this coming month.
Yeah, we are still
Yes,
in October,
actually
yeah.
2 showings, 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. And it's going for only 100 CDs.
Only 100 CDs.
Yes, and it's actually from the 9th, 10th, 11th, the subsequent days.
That doesn't mean you shouldn't be there on the 9th.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be there on the 9th.
You may get to meet Stoneboy, you never know.
Exactly. Yes, we might
And-
have a surprise.
Yeah, and the movie has a rewatchable factor about it. So it's like you watch it and then you want to watch it again. So, you know, if you watch it on the 9th, I mean, feel free to go again on the 10th, 11th, 12th. Just keep going. Keep enjoying
and this
the
is
movie.
not to say it's actually because it's our movie, but you would not believe we've seen this movie like how many times?
100
Like
times.
100 times,
Yeah,
and
we
we're
had to
still not
watch.
tired.
Ah.
We can like
When did you finish shooting the movie?
last year.
Last year.
Oh, so it's possible to have seen it 100. I thought it was, I was doing the math in my head. Yeah, so sorry, go ahead.
No, so yeah, that's it. So it's got the rewatchable factor where if you saw it on the 9th, you would still want to see it again. So feel free to go back there again.
Yeah. Oh, Charlie, we will. Forever in the night. Forever can be a
in the
long time.
night.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe the vision was you're going to pee at night and then you realized, maybe so what's one word each you used to describe the movie? Jamel?
Beautiful and suspenseful.
One word, you.
I want to
One
give
word.
2 because, you know, I always want to double up. So beautiful and suspenseful.
Okay.
It's just a great movie. You wouldn't get
wasn't
tired.
one word, though.
Nah, it's great.
The whole sentence.
It's a great movie. It's great.
So great,
Yeah,
probably,
great.
right? Great.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
Nadia?
Oh, you're waiting for me. Oh, okay.
They're all waiting for you.
I would take his word. Suspenseful.
Nope, don't take my word. Find one.
Suspenseful.
Find
Well,
yours.
actually, fantastic.
Exactly.
That's good. Yeah, so I know there are a number of scenes in the movie. If you wanted,
Silent mode.
I think so. I think they would have to come experience it themselves because if I give it, I'll be giving out the movie.
Oh, you can't share something like that without
You see,
giving
the thing
away
is, let me tell you, this movie is a very simple love story. It's
Yep.
not complicated at all. So the little thing would give up. It would be more of giving out the entire movie.
Yeah.
So so everybody should come and experience it.
Okay, we have to wrap up. So what feeling do you want the audience to leave with once they come to watch Forever in the Night?
In awe. They should leave in awe. They should be like, oh my goodness, this was the best movie ever. That's what we thought.
I want to watch it again.
I wanna watch
Yes,
it
I want
again.
to watch it again. Yeah.
I want to tell all my friends about it.
Yeah,
So
to come watch it too.
Oh yes, and we too. We want to see you again, Nadia.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, after the
I
premiere.
have another movie coming out, so you definitely see me coming to promote
Oh
it.
yeah, and maybe before that, after the premiere for Forever in the Night, you come back into the studio. We have a one-on-one chat, one-on-one conversation. Yes, I can still come and visit you and the family in the house. We can have that one.
Sure.
The Lord should be waiting.
Got you.
So it was time with the movie stars. I've been speaking with Jamel Wari, who is the director for the production, Fred Sapon, who is also an actor in the production, and Nadia Wari, who is a child of destiny. Destiny's child. Beyonce herself, who is an actress, producer, a mom. Charlie, she's a whole lot in one. So this is all time will allow us for. Join us again tomorrow, 5:55. The show has ended. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Mami sanke